Hey, good morning, Ciph.
Good afternoon.
And good evening.
And good night.
Why are you keep singing awkwardly?
I saw Hamilton last night.
You are very excited about Hamilton, huh?
And it was a beautiful play.
Musical.
A lot of music involved and some... I'm not good at it. I probably won't be in the show, but...
No, I don't think you're going to get an opportunity.
It was fucking amazing.
So you finally got to see Hamilton last night.
Yeah.
And?
It was amazing. It was great. The flip between American history mixed with the hip-hop with the all cast of color, people of color. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I'm going to tell you what Lin-Manuel did. Did he talk about it on Juan Epstein?
No, it wasn't Juan Epstein. We never had him on Juan Epstein, unfortunately.
What was it on? We did it on the radio?
Yeah, I was actually going to tell you it's probably buried in your CDs when we had him on Cipha and Rosenberg. No, we did.
Oh.
But it's not on YouTube. It was pre-YouTube.
It was on the radio.
It was on the radio. So it's
okay, so this is years ago. We had Lin-Manuel when he was... What was he talking about, In the Heights?
He was talking about In the Heights, but he was finishing In the Heights. It was like coming to the end.
Right, and then he was talking about he was working on this new thing about Alexander Hamilton, and we both looked at him like he was fucking insane. Why would anybody go see a play about Alexander Hamilton? And he told us, remember he was like, yo, I'm working on this thing, like the 10 Dual Commandments.
I remember all of it. Yeah, I remember. He told us about the 10 Dual Commandments.
And when I saw him last night, he remembered that conversation.
Oh, he did?
About it, yeah.
He shows us a lot of love.
Yeah, I respect that guy. Because last night, the thing about the show is that Young Guru's here. We're gonna get to you in a minute, Guru.
No, take your time.
It's Broadway, okay?
Broadway talk.
The shit is, as Lin-Manuel says it, he short circuited the system, right?
And what does he mean by that?
Because it's rap. There's a lot of rapping in the play, so it might throw normal Broadway people off. Mm-hmm. But it's about America and the revolution and the guy on the $10 bill. So you can't get too much thrown off because if you don't go see it, you don't love America.
Exactly.
All right? So where are you at?
Exactly.
And then, like, every cast member who, all those people back in the day were white are played by Latinos or black people. And there's not even, like, no one's, I don't see anybody beefing about it.
No one even notices. In fact, I'm so dumb that when it first started, I just started taking it at face value. Yeah. I think I'm dumb enough that it wasn't really until I saw Thomas Jefferson and he had an afro that I was like, okay, this is colorblind casting.
Yeah.
At first I was like, it was Hamilton? Like, it's so funny how dumb we are. But it's amazing, right? The show is every bit as good as people say, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I went on stage after the show and met some of the guy who played Thomas Jefferson.
I want to have him on the show. I think he's awesome.
He's amazing. David, I think his name is David. He killed it. And then the kid who plays his friend and also plays his son, he's from Brooklyn. So like he knew who I was. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, I was just some guy on stage, and then you could tell some people knew who I was. So they were like coming up to me. And the other girl, the girl that he cheats with his wife, so they were like, mad cool. And then Lin-Manuel was talking to some people.
Just give away the whole play.
Yeah, I mean, what else? And then
no, that's in history, yo.
Yeah, but we don't know the history. We don't know the history books.
And then he was walking away, going backstage, and he saw me, and he came back out, Lin-Manuel, and he was mad cool, yo.
So I'm sitting at WrestleMania, with like my wife and my friends from Cheap Heat, and Wale was there and Smoke DZA and just wrestling nerds, and I hear someone like Rosenberg, and I look over to my right, and it's Lin Miranda, and he doesn't like wrestling as far as I've ever known, and it was just bizarre.
Where was it this year?
In Dallas.
Oh,
and I'm like, I give him a look, and he like throws his hand up like shh,
right,
and then. But he told me really it's because he was on vacation. He didn't want people to know that he was like skipping the show to be at WrestleMania more or less. But I was like, because when he said
nephew or something, right?
Yeah, and I said to him, I was like, actually, I got to tell you don't even have to say shush. No one here knows who you are. He was like, I've been walking around not. He said one person at WrestleMania recognized him. Otherwise,
that's two different worlds.
Well, and also he's a tough one to call as far as where he can walk down the street in general.
Yeah,
I think that's a tough call.
But, he's on a lot of shit lately. Man.
I know.
He's on his promo run.
The viral game's crazy.
He's at the White
Did you mention
House.
Juan Epstein by any chance?
No.
Because Riggs has been promising me since it started that we would get it.
I mean, he's on his run.
And then he went dark again, but he went dark for a little while. I think now maybe he's coming back up.
So he got like a tan?
No, that's not what I meant. Now, real quick, one other side story before we get to Young Guru. I hosted Snoop in D.C. on Friday.
Snoop. Doggy Dogg?
Yes.
Okay.
What you thought Snoop from The Wire was
Yeah,
having a
Snoop from The
concert?
Wire.
No, it was Snoop Doggy Dogg, and it was very cool. Great show, packed, new venue, relatively new venue in DC called Echo Stage, and Snoop killed it, etc. But the great hip hop moment I got to have beforehand was his manager Kevin came up to me and was like, "Yo, do you want to let's go say hi to Snoop?" I was like, "All right," and he's like, "Oh, you want to bring your wife?" So I said, "Sure." So I brought Alexa up. Snoop, of course, was like such an amazing gentleman, just like super cool. And met Alexa, talked to Daz was there.
Yeah.
So I naturally started making fun of you and calling you the biggest dog pound groupie of all time, and he knows. And him and Snoop asked about you. Snoop was like, "Yo, how's my nephew Cipha doing?" So we talked about you for a minute, and then Snoop like goes to the bathroom, leaves for a little bit. I hang out for a minute. I'm like, "All right, let's get out of here." And as I'm about to walk out the door, and Snoop hits me with that, "Yo, that Birdman shit was crazy, right?" And so I'm like, shh. So I turn around, and that just led to like The Talk, which was, I won't talk about The Talk on Juan Epstein, but it was just awesome because I realized at the moment that he said that was that he wanted to like, well, we have to have a conversation.
Right.
And you can imagine Snoop's angle on it. I'll say this is all I'm going to say. Snoop's angle on that was not the same as the internet's angle.
What, the angle of the Birdman?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, basically the way it went was the internet decided, because the internet always wins and the internet always decides, that Birdman took an L. So when the internet decides that someone takes an L, they just kind of slap you with an L and put up lots of memes about you,
right,
and that's it. Now, my assessment when I saw it was like, obviously it was very funny, very entertaining. I took an L. I'm willing to admit when I take an L, because the entire world was talking about that. So if you're on a radio show and something like that happens on another radio show, you just got to hold that L tight. There's nothing you can do except that. Like, there's,
I don't click on those type of videos, and I saw that title. I was like, I'm going to click on this one.
Well, and it's 2 minutes long, so you're like, this isn't even a commitment.
Yeah, I could watch this real fast.
So, like, Ebro's been saying that all week. Ebro's like, man, sometimes you just got to take that L and hug it tight. Just love that L. Because that L, I was like, and listen, we did the show that we knew we would do that day, which was 4 hours of Prince talk. Yeah. All in the world I would want to do that day, right? You don't think of anything else. Yeah. So, but it becomes this huge thing. And, so the internet decided their version of it.
And you can't say the slang, right? The new slang.
No, we do.
Oh, you do?
We do.
Okay.
Ebro's sort of like you in the sense that, like, he doesn't believe in that. Like, he basically is like, if something's the shit that people are saying,
absolutely,
why fight it?
Yeah.
Like,
it went beyond the Breakfast Club.
Right. It went well beyond competition. It was a cultural hip-hop thing. We're assholes at that point if you're like, nah, don't even say the respect, don't even put some respect on my name. Like, come on. Now you're being silly.
Yeah, it went to the internet.
Yeah, there's no point. So, but it was very interesting to hear Snoop's assessment of it, having a relationship with Birdman, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, I was just excited when I realized that Snoop wanted to have a talk with me about anything. Right. That still gets me excited.
I feel you.
The fact that Snoop wants to sit and have, like, we need to have a rap talk, I'm like, man, this is pretty good.
Rap talk is great.
Now, speaking of rap talk, Ciph.
Tidal, No Small Talk comedy series.
That's not where I was going.
On Tidal right now. And if you're bored, you listen to Beyonce's album 12 times already, skip over to No Small Talk, get some comedy.
Wow, Beyonce's helped you out.
Kanye helped me out, Rihanna helped me out, and Beyonce. All three of those albums.
Well, thank you to them for looking out for them looking out for you like that. And also, speaking of Tidal / The Rock / Rap Talk, Young Guru's in the building on Juan Epstein.
What up?
What's poppin', Young Guru?
Everything is poppin', man. I'm glad to be here.
He's Ciph. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
And a producer.
First. Yeah.
And
DJ first.
And a DJ.
DJ first,
DJ
engineer
first.
second, produce after that, but everything gets equal importance.
Everything. So that you really do split it up as all equal to you?
Everything is equal importance. It's all about music, period.
If you had to do one of those things, though.
I can't do one. But if I had to do one, just pick one, DJing would be the one thing.
Really?
Yeah, DJing would. That's what I started with.
It's not how you make the most money, though.
It's definitely not how I make the most money, but DJing has kind of.
I would say
it's if engineering is the A, DJing is the B plus. Since about 2010, DJing's been the B plus. Like since I got with my management, B plus.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Ciph, when was the first time you met Young Guru?
J1s.
Yeah.
It all comes to J1s.
J1s.
Even though he can't get us Khaled on the podcast.
No. Let me tell you a real story though. Like before the Khaled, before all of that, I used to DJ for a girl named Nonchalant out of D.C., and me and you will get into our D.C. talk
About
later.
to say, don't ever in your life act like I don't know about Nonchalant. Hold on.
We'll get into our D.C. talk later. Yeah,
5 o'clock in the morning. Where you going to be? Outside on the corner.
I was the very first person to ever put me in the industry, man, period. And J1's was her tour manager.
Stop right now.
Back in 96, J1's was her tour manager.
Wow.
The very first time I ever needed a passport, my tour manager was J1's. You know how ill that is?
Well, I already know this, so.
You already knew all this, of course.
I'm getting to the parts we don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So, how did you get...
do you remember where we met, though?
Yo, we've been knowing each other so long, I don't remember actually where we met. Because it's like, it's time.
I remember
when do you meet a person? Is it the times when I like walk in the tunnel and you have no idea who I am and you're the guy and I'm like, yo, I'm in the tunnel. But you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a conversation, man. But it's like,
no, that's not meeting.
Yeah, that's not meeting. I don't remember when we actually.
Because I know. You know when you get an intro from J1's, like you can either get a regular intro from J1's or the family intro.
Right.
It's like, yo, this is my man right here.
Right. And J1's was definitely that dude. Like,
Still
I've
is.
been around the world with J1's, and the thing about him being a road manager back then was like, we be in spots, and he could just smell it. He's almost like my cousin. I got a cousin, Tariq, right?
What,
Real
smell
street
like
dude.
trouble?
Smell it.
Yeah.
I'm on the dance floor dancing with a girl. He tap you on the shoulder like, yo, let's
go.
get out of here.
Yep.
And I swear to you, 5 seconds later, the fight pops off. And I'm
Yep.
like, yo, how did you know?
Yeah,
like,
Big Kev is like that. My boy Big Kev.
Just from watching The Room.
That's why.
Hey,
That's why
watches the
Kev and
room.
J1's
He
are
watches
like.
the room.
They're like little girls when they get together.
Who? J1's and Kev?
Big Kev, yeah.
Why? Because they just they just like, it's 2 peas in a pod?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what it is.
Philly,
man.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, they know
Connection.
what it is. Yeah, but I don't even remember, Ciph. Like when did we meet?
I don't know exactly, but
Well, Ciph, did Young Guru give you any help when you were putting together hit records for Rock La Familia?
no. He was that by
I was
then.
around, but I wasn't.
He was
I let
around,
Ciph,
but-
I let Ciph do what he was going to do.
No,
I was actually super happy for Ciph. Because it's like, the dudes that you know is a good dude, you like him personally, and then it was like, yo, Jay gave you the shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was more proud of. That, like, Ciph had his say.
Sorry. I'm supposed to say this from the beginning. I apologize real quick while we're talking about this. Welcome home, True Life, yo.
Welcome home.
True Life is
Life.
home, man.
Welcome home,
Yo,
True
he's
Life.
calling me and texting me, and I don't have to go through his wife, and it's being recorded by the state.
Yeah.
True Life is home. Welcome home, True
Welcome home,
Life.
True Life.
How long till we have him on Juan Epstein?
Soon. His phone won't stop ringing though, yo.
So you're going to have to hit him and lock him in, though.
It's hard he can't come to New York just yet.
Oh, he can't come to New York. Okay, so we got a minute to figure
Yeah.
it out. Well, welcome home, True Life. That's awesome. So Jay gave Ciph, and by the way, it's interesting that you talk about Ciph getting a look. Both of you guys, this always just speaks to my theory of how the industry is run pretty much by rap nerds, man.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
all rap nerds.
Absolutely. It's rap nerds fighting to get good music out there and then compromising a little bit
And like
to make it go on the bigger platform.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's almost like, it's so funny. From the top down, from Hove and Puff all the way down, it's people
Drake.
It's people who at some point or still to this day are straight up rap nerds.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All the way down. So Guru, you're from Jersey.
No, I'm originally from Delaware.
Originally from Delaware.
My mother is from Newark, New Jersey. My father's from Southeast Washington, D.C.
Ah, okay.
so
That's where the two things, like when people always like, where are you from? I'm from Delaware. I was born and raised in Wilmington,
Where in
Delaware.
Wilmington? Okay.
Wilmington, Delaware. So my whole life was like back and forth to Philly to Battle Cats. But then if I'm going to visit my grandmother in Jersey, I would be up here, go to New York. Going to visit I was way closer to my grandparents in D.C. So you're talking about like my whole life being in Southeast. I didn't touch Northwest until Howard. I went to Howard in 92.
God, wow, so the DC continues.
The DC continues always. It's like in my blood. But I wasn't a Northwest cat until 92. So I'm 47th Street, right by the shrimp boat. Right?
Wow.
You know where the shrimp boat is?
Yes.
It's my whole thing. My dad went to Anacostia High School.
Real.
All of that. So
Ciph, these are places that,
I don't know what's happening.
At least back then, I can't speak to now. You didn't want to go.
you ain't
going.
want to be in them
Now
areas.
I can't say because I was just in D.C. last week,
And it cost an arm and a leg to live there.
half the places that I would say I would never go, everyone's there.
Gentrification is on and popping in D.C.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
I can tell last time I went to D.C.
No, listen. I didn't realize gentrification was a thing that would make you no longer recognize a place to the point that you're not even nostalgic about it. When I go back to DC, I could be driving Atlanta, bro.
It's just a different city.
I was at 10th and U, a place that I used to go record shopping, and for a second I was driving. I forgot what street we were on. So I looked up and I was like, "We're on you."
It's a whole
I don't
different
even.
world,
I don't know. Nothing's the same.
It's a whole different world, and you beg the question: is it good or is it bad? Same thing with Brooklyn. Same
It's
thing with
it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag. It's like, no, you don't want the crime there, but you don't want to lose the flavor,
right?
And you don't want to lose the people. And I don't know where the people go.
Yeah.
I do not.
They
know
go
where
to PG. The people go to PG. They out in PG now. Everybody I know that was in DC, they find a little spot out in PG.
Yo,
it's like,
the world
I can't
is
afford the
switching,
city
yo.
no more.
They go into the suburbs where the people,
all went
it's
to
all
leave the
switching,
city.
Yeah.
Like in the 50s when the suburbs were created and those people that went out to Long Island, Westchester, Jersey, it's all switching now.
It's so
because like if you go upstate, has nothing to do with what we should be talking about. But
it's all good.
If you go upstate, like along the Hudson River, where it used to be like these real because I'll go look for like antique shops or some shit. And there's like mad Dominicans up there, yo. And I'm like, where are y'all from? And they're like, yo, we used to live in the Heights, but it's literally just getting pushed out. Yeah. And where do you go? You just go up. Yeah.
It's so weird. So weird. So then you went to Howard in '92.
I went to
post
Howard
Diddy,
in '92.
Post Diddy Howard.
No, that was pre Diddy. That was that Diddy was still there.
He was finishing.
Bad Boy didn't start off till '95.
No.
Remember
no.
that? Bad Boy didn't
Diddy
start
was
till
doing
but Diddy
parties
was
and
gone.
all that.
No, but Diddy,
but he was still coming back for his parties.
Yeah,
so he was still around.
Let me tell you how ill Diddy was. Diddy was a student there, and he was throwing parties, and he would have 3 parties in the same weekend, right? And was getting on a train, going back up to New York to go deal with uptown stuff, but his parties were still popping. So Diddy had every type of party, like me and you, right? I know you now, right? So me and you was going to go to the hip-hop party where we could wear whatever we wanted. Puff was also having, like, the all-white party. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you wanted to be in that arena. Mm. Then he was having a whole other party that was maybe like a reggae party or something like that. Like, he was killing it. He was having 3 parties in one weekend.
He really ran it.
Nah, he ran. He definitely was that guy. He was inspirational. He was. Me and him don't mesh musically. Like, our musical taste is different. But you can't front on Puff on what he did for the mind state of people that was going to Howard at the time. We was like, yo, we can do whatever we want to do.
Right.
Period.
Now, where are the spots where you mesh with Puff? Like, what music do you really like?
See, and here's my point. If you look at a lot of those early Bad Boy albums, people would complain about the singles because the singles were very much, let's sample 8 bars of a Diana Ross song. But I was also in there working, and it was like, you can't front on the album cuts. The album cuts was the joints. This is Chucky Thompson in there finding samples. Yeah. This is Nasheem Merrick in there finding samples. This is Ron Lawrence and D-Dot, and like everybody was going in, but the single would be some like, okay, shiny suit, whatever. You know what
it was definitely album cuts.
Yeah, the album cuts was
Mace
incredible. And I was there for a lot of like, when Chucky was finding those. My 2 connects, just to be clear, I wasn't running around with Puff. Let's not get that misconstrued, right?
Okay.
That wasn't my guy. My people were Derek Angeletti and Chucky Thompson, 2 of the hitmen. Okay. So by working with those 2, Derek was real close to Tracy Lee. Tracy Lee, who had the party time,
of course,
the theme. All
now
that.
He's a fine lawyer.
Right. Now he's doing his lawyer thing. But back then, it was like Trey was my crew. That was my connected Derek. Chucky was my guy through Nonchalant. That my direct guy. Like, Chucky's the biggest mentor I've ever had in my life.
DC?
Chucky Thompson. Chucky's DC all day. Chucky used to play with the Congos with Chuck Brown.
Oh,
wow.
Chuck
I did not
plays
know
every
that.
instrument except for wind instruments. Anything other than horns, Chucky can play that shit.
Wow.
From guitars to bass lines to drums to whatever you want, that's all Chucky Thompson.
Did Chucky do 5 o'clock?
Nah. Chucky didn't do 5 o'clock, but what he did was, Nan got big off of 5 o'clock. So the second album, MCA, gave Chucky the whole budget to be the executive producer, and that's when I came on to Nan right when 5 o'clock hit, and I became her tour DJ. Big thing we did, 96.
And is this just from you being around in D.C.?
I was ruling D.C. from 92 to like 97. DJing.
Under the name Young Guru?
Under the name Young Guru. So you're talking about the Ritz. You're talking about Quigley's. You're talking about any spot that you can name that was popping in D.C. Because if you hire me, I'm bringing the whole sophomore, freshman, and junior class at Howard University.
Got it.
Period.
That's big there. That's a big deal.
Period. A lot of money for a promoter. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't when I got there, I was like, yo, CeeLo, Iron, all these guys got radio on lock. I'm not going for radio, right? Those were my guys. Those were the guys that when I got to the city, they were like, yo, we embrace you, especially Iron. You know what I'm saying?
Iron's the nicest guy on planet Earth.
Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
Iron, right?
What?
He's the nicest guy.
You don't know Iron.
I
can tell.
He
He is the. Iron is the. I rarely use this word with men because people feel weird when you say it, but he is one of the sweetest people alive.
Nah,
Iron
nicest
is
guy in the
a
world.
gentleman. Like he remembered me from when I used to call and request on Kiss and say my name was PMD, and when I got on the radio doing overnights, this guy worked at the other station, called me, and was like, "Yo, I hear you, bro. I remember you."
Next time
crazy.
you talk to Iron, ask him. I used to go to Iron House because he had a 950 before anybody.
And he's
that I
always
knew
messed
in
around with the
DC.
beats. Yep.
So I used to go to his crib just to sample joints on a 950.
What's funny about Iron too is he was one of those guys. He always so into producers. He's so into Pete Rock. He's so into Premier Dilla.
Yeah.
But he never seemed like he was trying to go for it himself. He just loved doing it.
He
Like,
loved he loved the culture. He's a great cultural ambassador
Yeah.
of what we represent
Yes.
in terms of
That's me.
underground hip hop.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and you had a foray.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I suck at making beats. I always wanted to be dope. I have
You know what you
mad
didn't
equipment.
do? You know what you didn't do? You should have put
Get
3
good
or
at
4.
making beats.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Cipha was good at making beats. Don't disrespect yourself like that. You should have put 3 or 4 instrument dudes around you.
I tried.
You should have had a bass player, a keyboard player.
I tried.
You know-
I just didn't have the time.
ain't had the right
The
people?
radio. No, the radio took up the
Oh,
time.
okay.
Again, the damn
All right.
radio.
Fuck you, radio.
Nah,
But,
because
nah,
Cipha would come in and he would have some decent
No,
joints,
I-
but then he would diss them himself. And then like,
No, I had.
when
I
you in
had-
them A&R meetings, let me tell you something. When you in them A&R meetings, you gotta sell.
I know. That's
You
what makes the
gotta
greats
sell.
great.
I've never been a good salesman.
You gotta sell. You gotta
Which is
sell.
funny because
But all I want is old equipment. Like, I love it so much. Like, I tell
Right.
my wife or anyone to get me a gift, they're like, what should we get you? Like, anything old. Any old keyboard, sampler.
You want it.
Yeah,
I
but
want it.
combine that now with the computer. I do the same thing. I still got my 950.
I just
my
like to
SP,
have it.
But
My SP12 has never been turned on. It's there, though.
it's clean.
Clean.
I have a 1000. That's it, and it sits there. It collects dust. Are you going to be excited? Will you at least be semi-excited when I get the jukebox at the new place?
A jukebox?
I'm getting the jukebox at the new place.
That sounds pretty crazy.
45s or no?
Of course.
Of course.
The way I got my wife on board with the 45 collecting was that I said one day I will buy us a jukebox and I will fill it with our music.
Yes, sir.
And my wife from that point on, when I would come home, she'd be like, "Do you get anything for us?" And so it's been like this steady build.
When
of
did you start 45 collecting?
when Just did our show, maybe it was already over 2.5 years ago. Can you
About
believe
2.5 years ago.
Can you believe I've been on this 45 bullshit for over 2.5 years?
Yeah, because I left the radio about a year ago, and you was on it way before that.
Yeah, so it's been like 2.5 years I've been on it.
Okay.
And so now I have like,
You heard that okay?
yeah, he was like, no. Well, the other day,
That
the other
okay
day,
he looked at you like
I was
like
trying
a
to
new.
I was trying to see where his
You know,
his
in
thing was
prison
at.
shows when the new guy comes in.
no, listen, he checked
New
me.
fish.
He checked me last week on Twitter. I posted.
wasn't a check. It
I
wasn't
posted.
a check.
I posted a record, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't stop" or something like that. And it was a random. I don't remember what, some random '90s Leah record.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just asked me. He's like, "You still got a long way to go." I was like, "So?"
Nah, it's real. It's real. The 45 game is like, I wasn't really on it crazy, right? And then Mobile Mondays came along, and I was like, all right, I got some 45s, but I wasn't really. I'm a drum dude. I'm an album drum guy. Like, I'm not going after what sample Pete used and what
Right.
sample
You wanna
Premier
find
used.
drums.
I'm drums all day, right? So the 45 thing was never really my thing. I have some, you know what I mean? But then when I started doing Mobile Mondays, I was like, I got to get my shit up.
Right, this is fun. There's something fun about it. You
It's
can't
very
really,
fun.
you
It's
can't
very
explain it. I honestly
Very
think the number one thing about it, I swear to you, the number one thing about 45s, in my opinion, is two factors, which are both so childish and true. One, they're cute and small, and everyone loves shit like that, no matter what they say. And number two, all of us love vinyl. None of us want to carry 12 inches. That
Exactly.
shit is unbearable.
Exactly.
But carrying 45s, you go out of state, come up on the best store in the world, buy 200 records, and find a way to shove them all in your suitcase and bring them home.
Yeah. I won't agree with you on the first one. I don't care about the cuteness. Come on. But in terms of
Those
in terms
covers,
of-
they're amazing.
in terms of carrying 12 inches and things of that nature,
Nah,
that
it's
size is too much, right? But in this era now where like, if one of my young boys comes to me and he's like, "Goo, I want to start DJing," and I'll get him started, with wax, and so he can feel what it feel like or whatever, I'm going to eventually give him my hard drive, and he's basically getting the
He's gonna
last
cheat the game.
30 years of what I have, right? And I'm very specific about like the 12-inch that has the remix on the other side. I'm recording that. You know what I mean? I'm very specific about that. So like my young boys, I'm like, yo, what you have don't really make no difference. Like right now, right? We all went and probably downloaded a torrent that goes, let me complete my Prince collection. Now the thing is, who can get in touch with Prince's live show guy that has like the recordings of the demos of what they were doing in rehearsals? Like that's the new digging. Stems is the new digging. Who has the stems of this session?
Well, actually,
that
that's
session,
really cool,
session?
Guru. I didn't even think about that, and that's
I'm already on my job.
Good, as you should be. And you're someone who could do it. But the reason that's awesome to me is because what I hate about MP3s is it's eliminated the hierarchy, and we all went through the hierarchy. And I'm sorry, old man talk. # old man talk. We all had to fight to get on those promo lists, right? To get those records. Right. And now that's gone because, like you said, if Drewski puts on a new guy, Drewski's guy could end up with your music.
Yeah.
Did you used to get records from Ducky U in DC?
Of course I did.
You know what I'm saying? You had to be on a list.
You had to be on the list.
You had to know
or you had to pay for a record pool.
Or Rozzy Raz from Relativity or somebody like that, right? And I'm just naming the DC people because I know he knows.
Yes, of
course. The DC reps.
In every market, there was a rep that was like, these are my guys. These are my club DJs. These are my radio DJs. These are guys that are just influential but may not have a specific spot locked down, but I need them to have the record.
And I got to tell you, it's one of the things that's crazy about. I mean, for your situation, it may have been different because you weren't a college DJ. I mean, even though you were at a college station also, but you were running around to labels.
Yeah,
but when
it was much easier in New York.
It was much easier.
It was
right?
hard, but it was still much easier.
So for us, it was about getting on lists.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, dude, it's hilarious. The other day, I was at my mom's house, and every 6 months, I dig around my mom's house, and I find an unopened package.
Right, damn.
You remember Sony had like the Manila. They had like a regular Manila envelope with like a cardboard backing in it, and the vinyl just stuck in there. Yeah. And I opened that shit on Snapchat. I was like, let's see what this is. It was the Jack Frost album. Oh, I was like, okay, well, this isn't going to work out. Wow. But it was such a big deal. So what I like about what you're saying is that by going out and seeking out rare MP3s at least, or stems, at least you still have to know somebody. You had to put in work.
I'm going to give you a perfect example, right? Because now it's like not only everybody can have access to whatever all the music is out, right? I went to go see J-Rock do this Dilla tribute.
B-Junkies.
Yeah, B-Junkies. This is my family. I went to go see J-Rock do this Dilla tribute in San Francisco. And he was playing joints, and I'm like, what? Where did you? There's no He's like, yo, I got the sessions. And I'm like, I'm
what did he play?
sleeping right now. He was playing like different versions of like say Look of Love. We all have version 1 and version 2,
yes.
right? We all have that. He has the session. So the drums are playing crazy long while he's talking, and then it builds up, and then it's like, oh, there's no way I could get that because that's your man, right?
See,
so I'm saying, yo, I'm playing myself by not doing specialty versions of Jay-Z records. Yeah. So I went home that day, and I was like, yo, I'm about to go do all these specialty records of Jay-Z. So I did a threat where, like, Cedric the Entertainer, when he came in, he did a 30-minute comedy skit.
Oh, my God, you got more shit. You got more.
He did a 30-minute comedy that I chopped down into little
10
parts
seconds
for the record. So
I didn't even know that was Cedric on there.
Yeah, now that's Cedric.
You knew that?
Yeah, I did.
I never knew that.
Now that's Cedric doing the threat. So I'm taking that and doing new versions.
Right.
Or breaking down Hard Knock Life till it's like just the samples playing so I can talk my shit while I'm DJing, and then the drums come in. Yeah. When he says I got the bass line playing.
But you're doing that from the stems.
From the stems.
So all
that nobody else can have.
Right. But it's
that's
all
only
mixed.
Me. Yes.
So you don't have to go to the session.
I take the session and I make stems out of sessions. Before stems,
explain stems.
Okay. So for the audience, I'm sorry, audience. Stems is really like once you do a mix, you can break the mix down into like here's the kick, here's the snare, here's what the sample sound like. But it's not like what came out of the person's MPC or their beat machine. Right. It's after I've EQ'd and reverbed and did a whole bunch of stuff to it. It sounds like the record, but
all
just the different parts.
Because like when you make records, especially back then, everything was on different tracks.
Right.
So the whole record's mixed. Right. You do a regular pass, clean pass, instrumental, acapella.
Right.
Then that's usually where most people would stop.
Right.
But if you're a thorough, you then start recording each. Like you might not just do one string, but you might do like the string section.
I do every instrument.
Crazy.
Because now when we do shows, I got to be able to say, okay, if we playing with a 10-piece band,
right,
I need to be able to take the drums out, just the drums,
right,
so Tony Royster can play the drums.
Right.
The bass line might be, you know what I'm saying, incredible on this joint. Let me take that out so the bass player can play that.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be able to recreate the sample from on to the next one, so the sample stays in, but everything else is live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm playing that out my computer
amazing.
With a click going to the rest of the band so they can be on time with what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. But I'm saying it like, as we get into this thing of like DJing exclusives,
right,
I'm trying to make it so that like I know nobody in the world has what I have in my computer.
Well, and also that's just a bonus for then when you get Young Guru to DJ something.
Absolutely.
Is now you're getting some things that specifically, because let's be honest, people tie you to Hove, right?
No.
So you come
and I love that.
Yeah. By the way, that'll work out okay. Now, so come into the table, yeah. Why not have some incredible Hove stuff that you could only get from Young Guru?
Yes, sir.
Wait, how long? So before you got to Hove, you were doing what?
Now, I was at Howard in 92.
Yeah.
Right? Puff kicks off Bad Boy in 95.
Okay.
But before 95, it was like the normal thing that you do with your rap crew. I was with Tracy Lee. We all living together.
Tracy Lee went to Howard?
Tracy Lee went to Howard.
Okay.
Also, we had 3 groups. It was Tracy Lee. It was a group called the Reaps. They're from the Bronx. They're from St. Mary's.
I know the Reaps. I remember them.
It was Pi, a brother that we don't have no more. My man Feeve passed away in the Bronx in St. Mary's. And then we had One Step Beyond, which was another group. But One Step Beyond was the closest to signing to Bad Boy.
Okay.
They were the ones that would be with Nasheem all the day.
Okay.
Right? They would be with Derek.
Nasheem
Merrick, who shot you.
Yes.
And,
I know Nasheem, but
right.
is he Howard also?
No, Nasheem was just around.
Okay.
What people don't really understand is Nasheem was engineering a lot of those early Bad Boy records.
Okay.
Right? As well as producing. But this was pre-Bad Boy.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bad Boy didn't start till 95, but Derek and Ron had 2 Kings in a Cipher
right
before that. So we was hyped that people from Howard had a record deal and was playing on Rap City or whatever, right?
D-Dot went to Howard.
D-Dot is Derek Angeletti. And Ron Lawrence, right, were a group called 2 Kings in a Cipher. They put out an album. Now, if you go on campus, these are the guys that are running everything.
Yeah.
Puff's throwing all the parties. Derek and Ron is like our OGs.
Deal,
So imagine me as a freshman. I'm standing in front of a Puff Daddy party. I'm like, yo, Derek, get me in.
Right.
That's where my relationship with him, because I'm with Trey. Him and Trey was the closest.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where
all this.
That's where it all comes from. So like early
Rosenberg is making a sandwich or something.
early like situations might be us paying our money to go in the studio, and then we say, D, come oversee this. Like not necessarily produce it in terms of make the beats. We had the beats ready, but we would be like, Derek, come make sure we doing everything right.
Well, had Derek done anything yet?
He had
did
2
Kings in the Cipher. After 2 Kings in the Cipher, though, any other outside credits yet, though?
It was, what was the girl? It was a female MC he had did a big record for. I can't remember her name. But Derek was the guy, though, regardless. See, Derek.
Was it Shazzy?
No, it wasn't that.
No, Shazzy.
Entice.
It wasn't that.
No.
Entice was beautiful, though.
Really?
Entice and you ain't think Shazzy was hot?
I never really saw either of them in person. Like,
They was
saw
hot.
their faces.
They was hot.
Because, Entice barely showed herself in the video. She was like, very
was
covered
hot,
up.
too. She could have got it.
Really?
Yeah.
Pass another bag. Remember who crushed Shazzy? Was it Dante? No, I don't mean sexually. On our podcast, someone was just like, "Oh, Shazzy."
Oh, yeah, I don't
There was
remember.
like Dante Ross. I can't remember because I think
Search,
Dante. She was Electra, so it might have been
But
Dante.
let me reel this in. Let me tell you what Derek
Okay, reel
is,
it in
right?
for us.
Derek is like the drill sergeant. When you go into the Army and they send you to basic training, I think every producer should go through Derek Angeletti as a basic training of how to be a producer. I didn't really understand what producing was until I sat up underneath of Derek Angeletti.
Right.
He is, for all intents and purposes, he was on y'all podcast and he was talking about Kanye.
Yeah.
And he also, just real quick, he said, yo, Guru also came from my school. That's some real talk.
Right.
I came from the Derek Angeletti school of like, he will outwork you.
Okay.
He's going to cross the T's and dot the I's so perfectly.
Of the
learning,
beat.
No. And this is the point of the difference between a beat maker and a producer.
Okay, got it.
You can have the beat. Derek is the guy that is literally sitting in the studio with Notorious B.I.G. going, yo, that rhyme is not good enough. He's sitting with whatever MC you talk
Right.
about and is constructing a record to make it the biggest record. He's not scared of nothing.
Right.
And his Brooklyn like swag and attitude was like he could tell any MC anything he wanted without being scared. That's what I got from Derek. He wasn't scared. Before I would have been a little like, I'm not telling Hov that rhyme ain't right. You know what I'm saying?
Who the fuck
Derek's
is?
not scared of nothing. So his way of training us and his I never knew I could stay up for 3 days until I got with Derek.
Okay.
Not going to sleep. You know what I'm saying? I'll be in the studio, him and Puff leave, they go to the club, they come back, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, they catch me sleeping at the board, and they come in, yo, wake up, it's no sleeping in music. At 3 o'clock in the morning, you just waking up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are my OGs, though, from Howard. So, like, I give Derek a lot of credit in terms of my training of how to produce music. Chucky was my musicality. Chuck, like I said, Chucky plays every instrument.
Yeah.
I've seen Chucky like do it on so many different levels. From think about this. This is the guy that's doing Mary J. Blige's arguably best album, her second album, right?
Yep. Amazing.
All the way to like Notorious B.I.G. all the way to like
a lot of Bad Boy remixes.
Just Bad Boy everything.
I think he did the Gina Thompson.
He did
right?
things,
it's a lot of
you
stuff.
do remix.
It's
a
a
good
lot
one.
of stuff. No disrespect to nobody. It's a lot of stuff that when we was in Daddy's house, people be like, "Chucky, come, listen to what we talk," and he keyboarded real quick and not get the credit.
Yeah, I always think whenever I hear the name Chucky Thompson, I think keyboards.
But
I know you can play everything, but that's what pops in my head.
Yo, he's so ill with the guitar. His bass, he's left-handed. So his bass, I would have to string it upside down and backwards.
Jimi Hendrix style.
Jimi Hendrix style.
You would string his guitar?
Yeah, absolutely. I did everything for Chucky from basically 1996 to 1999. I was Chucky's in-house.
He was there for My Life album.
Oh, absolutely.
He was all in the Mary record.
Yo,
My Life's your shit, right?
My Life is my shit.
You talking about dancing with Mary's moms at her house?
Wow. So.
No, this is
Who Shot Your
Chucky,
Beat is originally on that
Chucky,
album.
If Chucky came up here and was like, "Yo, Goo's my son," I'd take that.
Would you go get him a sandwich?
Absolutely. But here's the flip side of that. When Chucky goes to the crib, Goo, take the car. He got the new 4.6 range. I'm running down to the club. I'm in front of like the Ritz with the 4.6. It's Chucky's all day, right?
Yeah.
But I'm fronting my ass off with the 4.6.
He's letting you live.
He's let me live. That was my. I can't. There's no way I could express how much I owe to Chucky Thompson and Derek Angeletti. There's no way.
Do you still speak to them?
All the time.
Okay.
All the time.
All right, so because we're gonna end up wanting to kill ourselves at the end, Ciph, and we'll say we didn't get anywhere. So how do we get from there to Hove?
I'll speed it up.
No, and please don't feel that way. But I do want to make sure I push us the right direction.
I was doing.
You got there's so much Hove, but that Mary album.
The Mary album is
crazy.
You got to be
right?
there for all that.
Crazy. So I'll speed it up. 1999, I had a big decision to make. I felt like I was on a plateau, not going nowhere. I had basically did every club in DC I could ever think of. I was on that circuit. I could work that circuit forever, right? Yeah. Like I could be DJ Trini, right? Trini is a good friend of mine, right?
Great DJ. Holds the clubs down.
Great DJ. But I was like, yo, I'm just on this one trajectory and I want to go up. Mm-hmm. So 1999, I made this huge decision where I was like, Chucky, I'm going to leave you. And Chucky gave me his blessing.
Chucky, he was in DC still?
Chucky was in DC at Chuck Life. Going on, right?
Wait, what was Chuck Life?
Chuck Life was a label that Chucky had started.
Who else did he do? Like, what was some of the stuff he did?
Oh man,
do you guys smell smoke of some variety?
Yeah, of course.
You smell smoke right now? No, do you smell smoke?
Oh, do I smell smoke?
No.
Anyone else catching that?
Do you smell toast? Are you having a heart attack?
No, I don't smell toast. Oh, don't scare me. You're right. Yeah. I smell like almost barbecue.
You smell almonds?
Okay, someone ordered barbecue or something. Or there's something going on somewhere.
Oh, I want some barbecue.
I know. I'm sorry, Seth.
Chucky had started Chuck Life. Like all the producers that came out of Bad Boy, they all started their own thing. You know, Derek had Crazy Cat. Chucky had Chuck Life. And he put a lot of energy. We had crazy big records at that time. He was doing a lot of stuff for like Born Americans and
he did. Let's see what he did from Kids from Foreign.
Yeah, like he did a bunch of stuff, right? But he put a lot of energy into this kid named Frankie. And the Frankie project never panned out, and I think that's what was the big like letdown.
Right,
but
he was a singer.
Yeah, he was a singer. He was ill. Chucky was giving him a bunch of stuff, but he was still doing a lot of stuff with Faith. But in '99, in Faith, he did a lot. He did, Chucky's heavy on the Faith albums.
Yeah.
So in '99, I made that decision. Where I was like, yo, it doesn't feel like I'm moving nowhere in DC.
Right.
And Chucky gave me his blessing. He was like, yo, okay, go to New York. So I remember it was like my birthday.
He did Used to Love Me for Faith, by the way.
Yeah, he did. He did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff. So I basically left Chuck and came to work for Derek.
Okay, because he was
in
New York.
'99. Chucky was in DC. Derek was in New York.
Right.
So when Chucky was doing all of the stuff that he was doing in DC, I was like, yo, I'm gonna go mess with Derek. Derek was doing the Mad Rapper album. So in '99, I did the whole Mad Rapper album. Now, mind
When
you,
you say you did it, you mean
engineered it.
Okay.
Right? Engineered it. So mind you, I'm coming to New York fresh, but I get to meet 50 Cent and we do How to Rob.
Right.
I get
you
to
engineered that.
Yes. Damn. Look at the credits. Look at the credits. You know what I'm saying? Derek is on How to Rob.
Yeah.
R.I.P. B.I.G.
Right.
Sorry.
All of that was done
Ad-libs.
at the studio that we was using at the time. On that album is also Puff Daddy, the Beat Nuts, Busta
Eminem.
Rhymes. I'm gonna give you the real story.
Okay.
My assistant, who is no longer alive, who's from Abu Dhabi, right, came home one night, back to the studio, and was like, yo, I was at the Lyricist Lounge, and there was this white boy that was destroying everybody. We need to go get him. Derek paid him $5,000, and the kid's name is Eminem.
Crazy.
And we got him on the album. Like, that's how early it was.
Right.
Eminem was a nobody at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Literally just threw him 5
But my
G's.
assistant, who was the underground, this is the kid.
What was your
that-
assistant's name?
His name was Kamel Abdul. Right?
Backpack type.
Yeah. This is the kid that introduced me to Slum Village.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like playing. He has the cassette of Slum Village.
What happened
1.
to him?
I don't know, man. It was weird. He had a heart attack, but I wasn't there, and it was like it was.
Oh, because I mean, if someone mentioned someone that young passed, I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
it was one of the weirdest situations ever, where it was like that was my first somebody younger than me dying, and I couldn't take it. I broke for about a week and
He
couldn't
was your
move.
assistant engineer?
Yeah, he was my assistant.
So he
gonna
was your son.
He was going to be way iller than me. When I'm talking about way iller than me, he was way iller than me.
That sucks.
That's
At
tough.
that age, yeah, it was tough. It was a tough
So
thing. But I give it, and this is skipping a little bit, but when he did pass, it was one of them times where I was like, yo, Hove, I absolutely love you. Because Hove said to me, he was like, yo, if you want me to stop what I'm doing for like a week, like, I'll do that. I was like, no, I'm going to go crazy sitting in my room, like, staring at the fucking wall.
Yeah.
Like, can I curse on here? I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go crazy.
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, yo, I need to be in the studio. But Hove personally told, because he knew what that cat meant to me.
Yeah.
Hove was like, yo, if you need me to pause for a
Right.
second, I'll pause. I was like, nah, I need to work
Yeah.
to get it out of my
that's the way I
system.
am.
You know what I mean? Like, that type of thing. But
So he's the one who found Eminem, and it was just
Yeah.
$5,000 got him on the D-Dot album.
yeah, easily. You know what I'm saying? So we did the Mad Rapper
And
album.
that was the song that made Eminem famous. No, just kidding.
No, but it was like ill that he could pick out talent like that back then. But for me, it was by the time I got done with that album, I had worked with so many MCs, you know what I'm saying, in New York City that I was comfortable. And then I basically was like, okay, Derek's giving the studio up, and I need to find
Where
a
was that
manager.
studio?
It was Jimmy Henchman's studio.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Henchman's studio.
25.
It was 20. It's right across the street from where the 4040 is now.
Right.
But what was
Yeah.
it? It had
25th
It's called-
and
we
6th.
called it Crazy Cat. You know what I'm saying? Because
25th and
No,
5th.
but what was Jimmy
25th
Henchman's
between-
thing, though?
Henchman. It was called Henchman.
I feel like there was a 25 for some
No,
reason.
no, it says Henchman on the
On
floor.
the floor,
Yeah,
yeah.
it says Henchman.
I used to go up to that studio.
Yeah.
And Kanye was around?
Kanye was always around.
Yeah.
Kanye was one of the producers that Derek had. So
Yeah.
Derek had a same thing that Puff did. Puff had a team of 10 producers. Derek had a team of 10 producers. So in the middle of us making albums, I could go in the closet and I could have Kanye January, February, and these were DATs, right?
Right.
Digital audio tapes back then. So I have Kanye like January, February, March, and Derek would be like, yo, Goody Mob's coming by today to check out some beats. Go get the Kanye March and go get the Coptic, you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
January.
Coptic.
Yeah.
Oh, that was my man.
Who's Coptic?
He's another producer. He did a If I Should Die Tonight on Big's album.
Coptic.
Another guy that was just underneath everybody,
was like
but
Egyptian
really,
or
yeah,
something,
really
right?
good. He's African. Really good
Yeah,
producer. You know what I'm
Coptic.
saying? Really
Holy
good producer.
shit, I remember
Yeah.
him.
Egyptian is African. You guys were both right.
Yeah. When I was A&R and
Yeah.
like Raucous and all that back then, Coptic used to give me mad beats.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm down
Coptic
with
was the
Derek
guy
Anderson.
because he had another guy that used to come through and he used to have like hella dirt weed. So it was like back then we was broke and it was so cheap, his man would have like the good dirt weed. You know what I mean? Like
It makes
Coptic
you
was the
you
guy.
invaluable.
Yeah.
Pop dick.
But that was
Holy
that.
shit.
That was where Derek came in. So it was like after the Mad Rapper album came out, and I was like, all right, this is over now. You know what I'm saying? So what am I going to do? I found a manager because at the time Doro was the only guy popping. That was the only guy you heard on records because Mace said his name.
Yeah.
Right?
Doro
he used
was
to
a
mess
famous
with
engineer.
Doro was
That's
with
when
Fab.
engineers-
He was
yeah.
with
Fab
Clue.
really made him hot.
You know what I'm saying?
Clue,
Yeah,
right?
he was
Yeah.
with Clue. He was
Clue.
with the Desert Storm. That was his whole thing.
Yeah.
But he was the only guy that got shouted out on records. So I was like, who's that? And I found his manager, and I was like, yo, manage me. I know every board. I know all the shit.
Right.
So then she got me with Bleak.
Who was that again?
L'Oreal Coptage.
L'Oreal.
Yeah.
Oh,
L'Oreal.
man, this nigga's
You know her.
cool. Yeah, he's
So the
on my
way,
mind right now.
just so you don't know, L'Oreal gangstered the system because she was the A&R administrator at Def Jam.
Yeah.
She was the person that was filling out your PO numbers, your purchase order numbers at Def Jam. So she was like, if I'm hiring engineers every day, I might as well manage them and put my engineers on these sessions.
Which is a total way to work the system, by the way.
Right?
What
Yeah.
a great plan.
Right? Great play. So I got with her, got with Bleak, and then me and Bleak just hit it off. Like, I don't know what, like when you meet two people, me and Bleak are just brothers. That's my brother. I will go to jail for Bleak. I'll kill for Bleak. I'll die for
right.
Bleak.
You got it.
Like,
You don't have to tonight.
no, I'm telling you.
Not tonight, though.
That's my guy. Like, I vision myself 80 years old with all our kids playing with each. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bleak is my guy. Like, he's the most loyal person, and he's the guy that brought me in. Like, I love Bleak, and I'll
Wait,
do
you were
anything
hired
for him to
to-
do Memphis Bleak's second album.
Okay, so just as an engineer,
Just as an engineer, recorded.
you didn't know who he was.
I recorded mix Bleak's second album, right?
Okay,
Just,
so who hired you? Like an A&R?
Lenny.
Okay.
Lenny S.
Lenny was
A&R
actually
at
Lenny
Def
was
Jam,
actually like
Rockefeller.
the initial person that was like, all right, give me go.
Right.
Right. So Lenny brought me in, but it was really like me and Bleak striking that relationship. And
Yeah.
the bugged out thing is that the very first day that I went to go record Bleak, he had a Just Blaze session. So the day I meet Bleak is the day I meet Just
Whoa,
Blaze.
Okay.
whoa. And by the way, this is one of those times, Ciph, when we can finally properly fill in the blank. Memph Bleak is a good guy. Just generally a great guy.
No, he's a great guy.
And a brother to Young Guru. Did you get the reference?
Memph Bleak is.
Yeah, Memph Bleak is.
Got it,
Okay,
I got
I'm
it.
glad you were rocking with me there.
yeah,
All right, so
I
you
do.
meet Just and Bleak.
On the same day.
On the
Just
same day.
is
My very first
producer
session
now?
with Bleak. Just is coming up. He's
'Cause
trying
he's-
to.
'cause
He
he
was
was
at
an
the cutting
engineer
room.
too.
Just was at the cutting room.
Yeah.
I had seen Just before, but
Yeah.
never like talked to him. I seen him, but never talked to
Good
him
nerd engineer talking.
I can't even imagine,
This
by the way.
episode is good
because
nerd shit.
he could be in one room and I could be another room. But the what do you call it? The rapport back then or the etiquette was you don't just walk in somebody
Right.
else's session.
Yeah.
But I would see him in the hallway like he's going to get whatever,
what up?
and I'm
What
in
you
the
working
hallway.
on? What
But
you
we
working
never
on?
spoke
Okay.
until this Bleak session.
Okay.
And then I went home that day and I told my cousin, I was like, yo, is this dude named Just Blaze? He's the next one. He's the next.
Do you remember what you heard that day?
No, I'll give you the real story.
Here we go.
We do a song for Bleak. I can't remember exactly what the song was, but after Just made the first beat, he makes another beat in the headphones as I'm recording Bleak.
Okay.
Right? He takes the headphones off and plays it for Bleak, and Bleak is like, nah, that shit is whack.
And what
Right?
beat was it?
Streets is watching.
Come on, you piece of shit, Malik, you fucked up.
Bleak turned down that beat. So it was
Dun-dun-dun.
it was Jay coming over to check on Bleak, and he seen how I work, and then he was in the headphones, you know what I'm saying, listening to the Just shit, and it was like, right then, Jay was like, what are you doing for the next month?
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever, it's Jay-Z, of
Yeah.
course, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, whatever you need me to be doing, and that's right when Baseline was being built. So it was like,
Tell me, what did you think when at this moment? Because this is a critical time, in
Critical.
my opinion, to really take a moment to appreciate who Jay was.
Yeah.
Because now, when history's rewritten, Jay-Z has always been Jay-Z.
Nah,
but
not
there
always.
was a time when, to me, Jay-Z was the
I
guy
gotta suck in.
who was on the original Flavor record,
Yeah.
who made Dead Presidents, who I thought was a dope
Yeah.
underground rapper,
yeah,
and
it
that's
wasn't a big
it.
seller. It wasn't a big seller.
So where-
I actually was drawn to Jay because he made a reference to Rayford on the first album. Rayford Edmonds.
Rayford Edmonds.
So when Jay made the Rayford Edmonds reference, I was like,
drug dealer from DC.
yeah, the biggest.
Yeah,
ever.
sorry, not the guy who sold your cousin weed. The drug.
Biggest
I meant the drug dealer from DC ever in history.
Arguably, there, and I know y'all New York people want to keep y'all like Alpos and all that.
Don't you dare.
None of y'all. None of y'all is seeing what Rayford was seeing.
I heard that name before.
In DC.
Rayford Evans is a big
was a big deal.
But listen, first of all, I'm gonna have to just jump into sidebar. No one ever said Alpo and Rich and AZ them was the biggest ever. They just had the
y'all famous.
flavor.
Y'all famous.
Yeah.
Y'all famous. It's New York City, so of course whoever.
I'm glad that this argument
city,
could even ever come up. Now our drug dealer is way better.
No, but to be honest with you, there's no way that they could see Rayford money.
Oh, no,
you know how big Rayford Edmonds was?
Yeah, but their tail is not the biggest money getters. Their tail was all the crazy shit that happened.
Hustling?
No, they didn't get there yet. All the crazy shit that happened.
Yeah, no.
It's just a good story.
It's New York, and it's on a bigger scale in terms of publicity.
Yeah,
but the purpose of hustling,
but the crazy shit
money.
is the kidnapping.
Yeah, I get
the
it.
Jail.
I get it.
I'm saying why the story is so big.
But what's the purpose of hustling?
To get money.
Thank you. Nobody was seeing Rayford Edmonds' money.
And as I thought, by the way,
man,
and as I thought, Guru, you are saying his name wrong.
I'm sorry,
Rayful.
You're
saying Rayfur.
Yeah,
but that might have been slightly straight.
I'm sorry,
but it's Rayful Edmonds.
Maybe it was French. You don't pronounce.
You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
sorry.
he's the.
He was the guy.
He's the guy.
So
once you heard Hov reference that,
but I heard Jay reference that, and I was like, yo, how does he know about that? Because that was weird to me for a New York cat to know about something local in DC like that. I was like, yo, he got to really, and then I started really paying attention because you got to remember, I'm a Notorious B.I.G. fanatic.
Yeah.
Like, there's nobody it was hard for me for a long time. Now I put Jay above Big. But I used to argue with Jay that Big was better than him.
Yeah.
There's plenty of times when me, OG Juan, and Jay is sitting there, and I'm spitting Big verses. And it's like they spitting Jay verses, and then at the end of the argument, I go, yo, and I'm only pulling from 2 albums.
Yeah. Are you only good?
You understand?
Wait.
That's how ill Big was. You have to understand what he did, what Big did as the guy for Bad Boy. Absolutely. From a kid that's coming from Howard, from where Puff was.
I mean, you were indoctrinated in the highest way. Rightfully so, by the way. I think he's still a better rapper.
Arizona Ron from Tucson had the black Yukon. Usually had the slow grooves on, mostly rocked the Osleys.
You think Jay-Z's a better rapper than Big?
At this point, you got it.
Better, though. Not greater. Better. They just rap. If they just rap.
You know what? That argument can't even be had anymore because
it's so much to.
Jay has grown so much, changed. We've seen so many different eras of
that Biggie didn't even get to get to.
Right, he didn't get a run. He didn't
24
get a run.
years old.
But you have to, at this point, because of the fact that, because of death, which is not Big's fault, you have to give it to Jay because Jay has all of that you're describing.
Yeah.
Jay has, you see the naturation of a Jay-Z.
See, but that's why I like to nerd out, and I like to say that Jay-Z is the greatest of all time.
Of all time.
That doesn't mean he's the best of all time.
Who's
right?
better?
Okay.
Well, I think better from a pure rap standpoint, I'd say Biggie is better as a pure rapper. If they were just both getting on a beat and rapping, I think Biggie's probably better. I think there are a bunch of people better.
That.
But I think Jay-Z's total package makes him the greatest of all time.
Now, we've never been around each other to have these discussions.
Sure.
When we have our rap nerd discussions, you are allowed to say whatever you want. Just don't think that you have to say Jay just because I'm sitting
here.
Well,
as you can tell, we're balanced out because we're in my house, so it balanced out nicely.
Present your argument, but even when I present my argument, a lot of times it gets thrown out because people think, oh, you worked on it, Goose, so you can't present the argument. But I'm like, yo, present your argument because I am a Notorious B.I.G. fan. So in stories and in pockets, Big wins. Everything else, Jay wins.
That's a really interesting way to put it.
Stories
for sure.
When I say pockets, I mean
I know what you mean by
pockets. Big was a master of vowel sounds. So what Big would do?
Yo, hold on. Rap nerd alert.
No, this is rap nerd alert.
Hashtag we go into another level.
No, another level.
Rap nerd alert.
Another level. Big was a master of vowel sound. Arizona Ron from Tucson had the black Yukon. Used to have his slow grooves on. Mostly rocked up. And he would start. He would
start the rhyme in the middle, like if it was a 3-syllable word, he would rhyme the second syllable, and then the first line of the next line.
What Cipha is trying to explain to y'all is that most people
go.
Most people go something 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 bat, something 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 hat, right? Something 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 gat. Big would rhyme all the vowel sounds in between the sentences and end his phrase with a different consonant than what the vowel sounds were, and it made it so ill.
Can you give an example, or does it not pop in your head?
Yeah, One More Chance has one.
Yeah, it's so many of them.
First things first, I pop up, freaks all the honeys, dummies, Playboy bunnies, those want money. Those the ones I like because they don't get Nathan but penetration unless it smells like sanitation.
So the A is the vowel sound that he's the sanitation, penetration. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
there's still another syllable after that.
Yeah, but then the start of the next sentence would start with that, and then he'd go on to another vowel sound.
Garbage.
Yeah. So they said,
why do you say garbage?
Turn like doorknobs. Hot dog, like ugly as ever. However,
one of our favorites. However,
he was the greatest, man.
That's
Big
tough.
was like incredible, man. The nicest guy, funny, crooked eye.
You met Biggie at
one time in my life.
Where was that?
I was in the studio, Daddy's house. And he was the greatest guy, man. He would sit the Jar Branson like in the middle of the table. And I never seen Big roll up. He would always have somebody else roll up. Like I rolled up for him one time.
His fingers were too fat.
Really?
I don't know.
Little known fact. Is that true?
I'm just saying. It's just a note that I made in my mind.
Well, because by the time you knew him, he was popping. He
was popping. You know what I'm saying? But it was like he never rolled up.
By the way, if you want to smoke here, you can. By the way,
no. But he was like, to me, the greatest of all time. But then I got into Jay and really understood who Jay was, and then like Jay took another level. Like you never got to see Big do that. I think they would have grown together.
Yeah, I remember I was with C's, right, when I was on the road with Kim, and it's so crazy that he said this back then, because Life After Death was like I watched them all work on it, and C's used to play me like cassettes of like all the sessions.
Absolutely,
because we had shows on the weekends, they'd be recording during the week, and he was like, "Yo, when this album drop, Big, we gonna start going on the road. Big's gonna get like 70,000."
What's weird is
that was the biggest number.
Yeah.
70,000.
But bugged out. Y'all never had the chance to do a nationwide tour.
No, nothing.
Right? Like a Hard Knock Life tour where it's like, yo, I'm coming to 50 cities.
Never been
right?
on tour.
You never did that. It was always spot dates. It was always like, yo, go get this bag right here. Go get this bag right here. Right? It was never a complete tour, which is like.
Well, I wasn't big DJ.
Right.
So even when Kim would go do shows with Big, I didn't go because I was like Kim's DJ.
Right.
So they only called me for Kim shows.
Right.
Or if we were in New York, bum ass Clark Kent, fuck face would take my shine.
Nah, don't diss my homie. That's the homie right there.
I love Clark Kent, but listen, I was in Baton Rouge with Little Kim.
Clark is the OG.
Oh,
man.
we coming home. I'm about to invite my peoples. They be like, "Yo, Clark's doing this show."
But you
don't know the parts.
You can't diss Clark in front of me. That's the
Clark,
homie. That's the homie. But I would look at it like, yo, like Big never got to do a world tour or a nationwide tour, and it was just like, I give it to you like this. I give it to you like this. We was little cats messing with like Mark Pitts and people like that. So they would pull up on our block, and back then we was in the streets a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, like, you got the new whatever. We hustling out this house. Like, you got to move this car. But he would be bringing us Locks albums. You know what I'm saying? Locks songs or like Biggie songs or like whatever. I'm like, yo, listen to this. So it was like Mark was the real dude. So I was hearing it from the production aspect of what Chucky was doing.
What was Mark Pitts?
Mark was Biggie's manager.
Just direct Biggie's manager?
Yes, absolutely.
The whole time?
Yes. Was he Puff's boy, though? Puff put him on?
Yeah, was it through Puff or was it through...
I don't know. I can't tell you specifically who put who on, but Mark was my connect through Tracy Lee of where I would hear all the Locks music, all the Biggie music, and everything Bad Boy before it came out.
Why Tracy Lee?
Because Trey was the, like, if you got an A-team, Trey was the leader of it. Like, of our crew.
Right.
At Howard. I was the DJ. Trey Lee was the leader because he was the guy that was like the lead face of the rapping thing. Trey had probably 3 deals before he got with Mark Pitts and put out that record.
That was by Storm.
That was by Storm. Now Trey was signed.
They say it on the record.
Was he signed to D-Dot?
He was signed. D-Dot did the record. D-Dot produced it. That's why you think that.
Right, I'm thinking by Storm, right.
But Trey was signed to by Storm. Remember the Yellow Jackets and all that?
D-Dot produced the theme?
Yes.
Yeah. And then what a hookup that ended up leading to with the Keep Your Hands High verse.
So we have the very last very last recording of Notorious B.I.G. before his passing.
Keep Your Hands
is
High?
on the Tracy Lee album. But Puff wouldn't give us sticker rights.
Right.
We had the album. He gave us the cut and was like, "Yo, I'll clear for the album, but you can't promote it. You can't put featuring B.I.G." Now, Tracy Lee, to his credit, came out in the week in between Wu-Tang and Notorious B.I.G's double CD.
Right.
So Wu-Tang drops 1 week, Tracy Lee drops another week, and Notorious B.I.G.
Nope.
It was like, really?
Can I tell you the truth? Hip hop nerd that I am, and I
nerd out.
I have the theme single. I have I think it's a sampler that has "Keep Your Hands High," and I can't remember.
I was bitching about that,
but I never heard his whole album.
Right.
I
was bitching about you. As a consumer back then, your money had to be right.
Yes.
And I'm always thinking about
we
the
bought
hood.
albums.
Yeah, we bought albums. So it's like, yo, if I pay for a double CD of Wu, you're buying the Wu-Tang album.
$18. Boom.
Right.
The
I don't have
double one.
I don't have enough money to re-up for the next week because I'm also saving for this
big.
Notorious B.I.G. double album.
Right.
Like, are you serious? That's what
They were two weeks. Hold on. They were 2 weeks apart.
Yes.
And remember back then, some people there was different ideas. What do you call this shit?
Ideas.
No.
Like Tiffany, our producer, used to say ideals.
No, whatever. There was two different train of thoughts.
Okay.
There was either you hold your album back, or you put it in the store
so that you can get the rush of
because there's a lot of traffic going for Wu-Tang and Big.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Tracy Lee, he should have pushed it back. But
he didn't have a choice, and he didn't either. He did it.
We didn't have a choice. It wasn't our choice. Like we was young cats who was like, okay, our peoples is on, but I didn't have. If I had all the information that I have now about making albums and putting them out, I was a young kid and I was just happy to be around. And I was like, I didn't know shit about the music industry. We're talking about '97. You know what I'm saying? I'm just coming off Nonchalant tour. I didn't know nothing about.
So what were you doing on the Tracy Lee project?
One of the things that I regret to this day is that I was on tour with Nonchalant while Trey was making his album. So I didn't get a chance to be like, walk up on Trey, what are you doing? Let me check on the things that I do. Let me check on the records. Let me make sure everything's right. I'm on the road.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy as a DJ. This is my first in the industry. Yeah. I'm on the Fuji tour.
Okay.
We were the opening act to the Fugees in 1996 for 3 months. Like, I'm like, yo, I made it. And then I come home and it's like, we putting out Trey's album. And I'm like, well, I haven't even heard it.
Who else was on this Fuji tour with Nonchalant?
Just us.
You guys were the only
We were the opening act for the Fugees because of the fact it was a female. It was like non-threatening.
She wasn't on Rough House.
It was the whole Fugees camp is from where my parents are from in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So Leon, who was her DJ, Clef and them is from like Irvington, right? All of that is like Haitian, Jamaican, all of that. Newark, you know what I'm saying? It's like more like just the regular Newark, Jersey. Where I'm from in Jersey and Newark is really breaking down into like the majority of black people live in above Penn Station. We have a huge Portuguese population on the other side of Penn Station. And then as you move into Irvington, you get into Jamaican and Haitian. Right? We all live together. So I know Clef and them. I know Praz and them. I know Lauren and them. I know Lauren Brother. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole thing. But Flavor, that's all our peoples. 45 King is like my idol. You know what I'm saying? These are my people.
This guy knows a lot,
he's been around.
Lakim Shabazz's sister lives 2 houses from me.
All right, you know what?
You know what I'm saying? You understand?
Lakim Shabazz's sister
lives. There's one house in between our 2 houses.
Tell me right now, she was married to a white man.
No,
I want to know right now.
Absolutely
to a guy named Tad.
Absolutely
Tad
not.
Right now.
Absolutely not.
Okay, good.
Absolutely not.
Thank
But
God.
my point being is that back then, I didn't feel like I had the authority to speak up about certain things. I was just happy to be
there. You couldn't email the record back then.
Yeah, it was like us flowing off of what Derek told us, and we was following his lead. You understand what I'm saying? So it was like I didn't feel like I had enough to be like, no, stop Tracy Lee's album.
Well, you
because
didn't.
we need
I mean, let's be real. You didn't.
I didn't.
You were doing exactly what you were supposed to do.
And
go out on the road.
And I regret it because I didn't get in with him to be like, let me make a beat.
I regret that because what would you have done?
Yeah, I would have made.
But you would have looked like an asshole if you had said, "Nah, I don't want to turn this down, and I'm going to stay here and tell you guys what I know."
Right.
They would have been like, "Nah, we're good."
The crew was happy that I was on the road. You know what I'm saying? Like my version of flossing back then was like coming back to the Spy Club or to Quigley's and like buying out the bar.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo. yo, when you on the road, you ever got your dick sucked at 5 a.m.?
Exactly, 5 o'clock in the morning. You coming through, you hanging out State of the Union.
Yo.
Coming through and flexing.
5 o'clock, as big as a record it was, we was on the Fuji tour.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh, yeah.
There's nothing that can be on that level. The Fuji tour, son.
No, I got you.
It was crazy.
I'm
Ready or Not tour. This is the Ready or Not tour.
Yeah.
Woo. Crazy.
All right, so
All right, yeah,
we got to fast forward again now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I love hearing these stories. We got to jump ahead though. So
I have to edit crazy.
we're gonna jump back. No, we're not. We're gonna jump right back to Bleak.
Yeah,
Hov
okay.
says,
So
what are you doing for the next month?
Right. So Hov says, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Yo, I'm whatever you need me to be doing." So I go over the baseline.
That, by the way, was crazy, Ciph. What just happened was really a huge by the way.
Yeah.
All right, so keep going. So what are you doing for the next month? And you say,
right. I'm like, yo, whatever you need me to be doing. Right. It's Hov.
Of course.
So I'm like, all right, cool. I go over the baseline. Baseline's just being built. The walls aren't even finished yet.
Yeah.
Right. Like everything's not even all the way up yet. I go in there and it's like Just is in there. Hip hop is in there. Right. Hip hop, for the listeners, is a person. Yeah. Is Big's little brother. Right. So if it was Dame, Biggs, and Jay, Biggs' little brother, hip hop, is an
like
A&R.
literally his brother?
Yes, literally.
I never knew that.
Yeah, literally.
wait, he's literally whose brother?
Biggs.
Hip hop is Biggs'
Rockefeller?
brother.
It's Kareem Biggs' brother. Okay, got it.
Yeah. But you got to give hip hop the credit of like being an A&R before he even knew he was an A&R.
Yeah.
He was the guy that would like go to Ski's house, get the beat, take it to Jay.
Right.
You know, like hip hop was an A&R on a lot of Jay albums that people don't really realize how influential hip hop is.
Did he not get the credit?
Nah, he got the credit.
Yeah,
he got the
I know
credit. But he's such a quiet person that unless you're around Hop every day, Hop's not going to get up and brag about himself.
Right.
I'm a brag on Hop because I know what he does and how influential he is.
Who was G?
G Hop was the reason that you put G and Hop together is because they started a management company, and a lot of the people that they first initially grabbed up was like a Kanye West.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. They did the same thing like your manager.
Absolutely.
The
They went and got a bunch of
everybody's
producers.
bringing these beats in. Why don't we manage them?
Absolutely.
But what was G before that?
G was doing like A&R works, working the office, you know.
For
like,
Rockefeller?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So G Hop, and then there's...
And Lenny. Lenny was the
was
office dude. The trifecta for me was like, this is why it works so perfectly. If you let me and Hop live in the studio and make the music, and you let G and Lenny be in the office and sell it, it works perfectly.
Okay.
It works absolutely perfectly. And we have a young Kanye and a young Just Blaze giving us beats all day, every day.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to jump in here just to play devil's advocate. Why do you not mention Bink?
And that's weird to me that, like, it was a thing, like, on Twitter where Bink came at me and he was like, yo, you never mentioned my name. I do mention Bink.
Okay. Because you just didn't.
I always, no.
I knew you were going to say that.
But I always mention Bink in an aspect of, like, Bink was there too. Bink is incredible. But I just didn't like to come at me on Twitter.
Recently.
I'm not that type of
Bink's
dude.
been on. We're supposed to have Bink on.
I'm not that dude. You know what I'm saying? So here's how I carry it. Okay. I'm not an internet dude. It took my manager forever.
You look for a pug. Your shirt's hanging up.
To get
well,
me
you get your
on,
life together, Simon.
I was laying back.
To get me on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
I flow with Instagram because I'm into taking pictures now, and I take pictures, right? Okay. That's my whole thing. But I'm not an internet dude. So when you come at me on the internet, like, I'm halfway not paying attention to it. It may be a 3-month period where I don't check my Twitter.
Yeah. Right.
Right? So you DM me on
so
Twitter.
So obviously he heard you tell the story at some point, though, and
I
didn't
mention his name. But let me be very specific. Bink is an incredible producer. The amount of work that Bink has put out in his career, you can't match. You understand what I'm saying? Especially and especially, let me go in because of a bunch of reasons.
Nerd talk.
His drum sounds are his. He has a drum kit at his crib, and he's sampling himself. So you can't get the Bink sound unless you have his specific MPC because he made those.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bink is that ill. And a certain style that we were using in the Rockefeller era is Bink. You can't get past that.
Ciph, what is Bink most known for?
It's so many. It's too many to name.
900 number, 1-900
Mr.
Hustler.
Cheeks record.
1-900 Hustler.
He did Mama Loves Me. Raise Me. That
Woo.
one. He did
I just don't like. I don't like when somebody says like I purposely.
I
leave
didn't know
them
he said
out.
anything about you. When I mentioned that. What I'm saying is
I don't leave him out on purpose. It's just that Just is my personal friend.
That's
my guy. That's my
what
personal
I see
friend.
as an outsider looking in, is Bink didn't sign to the management with G and Hop, so he gets left out.
I don't know what everybody's personal.
But when
like,
you talk Rockefeller,
you might be right.
He also did You, Me, Him, and Her.
You might be right. You might be right.
So
you might be right.
So I'm not saying it's anything personal, but I just know.
I'm saying it is personal. It is personal. It's personal to me
because
of the fact
outside.
that somebody's trying to say that I'm trying to write them out of history, and that's not the point. The point is Bink is an incredible producer, and I'm not trying to write him out of history. So anytime you tell the story, then yes, you have to include Bink's name now, what he did.
Real quick for our listeners who are trying to
Bink
keep up.
Bink and Just Blaze had a little issue
at some point.
Yeah. So
all right. Well, Bink did real quick to be clear. Bink did on the Blueprint. I mean, dude, 3 of the best records on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
He did The Ruler's Back, All I Need, and Mama Loves Me.
Yes,
okay?
absolutely.
He also did Lights, Camera, Action for Mr. Cheeks, as well as many
That's
more.
my favorite record that he's ever done is the Lights, Camera, Action.
Why? Why do you love that song?
Because of just the flow of it. Like, it goes
It's
so
very
hard.
unique. It is a very unique
It goes
record.
so hard. And you can put it on to this day, and it just goes in the club. It just goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like to bounce. Like, when I'm listening, here's my thing.
Talk to me.
By the way, there's another by the way.
No. There's a lot of by the way.
Big by the way right now. Big by the way talk.
Rap nerd talk.
Yes.
Sometimes when I'm talking to people about what records they like, I don't know what level you're on and what we're actually talking about.
Very good. That's a very good point.
Right? So number one, I'm thinking of production, like what you did with it, right? Mm-hmm. Number two, I'm going into like what that means to the zeitgeist of what goes on right now. Zeitgeist means the feel of what's going on in hip-hop, right? So I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh, this is going on and I'm only super underground hip-hop. At the same time that I'm super underground hip-hop, and this is sort of the key to why I can play around the world, is that no matter what market I go into, I'm catering to my audience. As a DJ, the way I was trained was to cater to your audience. So I can go to London, and I can play a bunch of fist pump shit from Ovida, right? Okay. I can go to Africa, and I can play all the latest, whatever it is, Afrobeat music. I got a young kid out there, techno right now, that's murdering. You know what I'm saying? He got the Doro record out there. I'm in every market playing everything that they want to hear. You can hear me play at the trap joint, and I'm playing every trap record that you hate.
Right. And that you may hate.
And I may hate.
Right.
But the audience is my determiner of what I play.
So when someone says to you, what records do you fuck with, it's such a broad question.
Well, if you ask me what records I'm fucking with right now, it's probably so totally out of hip-hop that it's like I'm fucking with like Michael Kiwanuka. You know what I'm saying? And records like that. Stuff y'all probably never heard. But I'm also...
I just heard of it because you said it, but I don't know what it is.
And I heard of the guy in the NFL whose name was similar to that.
Nah, Michael, please go
like
look up... Please,
Kiwanuka used to be the Giants.
Do me a favor. When you got your wife in here on a Sunday, look up Michael Kiwanuka and just play it.
What
Vibes.
Is Michael Kiwanuka?
Vibes.
He is the closest thing that we have to Bill Withers in today's market.
Okay.
Kid with a guitar, black kid from London. He's incredible.
Michael Kiwanuka.
You understand what I'm saying?
He's Nigerian.
But I'm probably messing with that. You know what I'm saying?
Personally.
Or personally.
Because right now in my phone I got the Hamilton.
Right, you're late as fuck.
You on that Hamilton.
You late as fuck.
I didn't want to listen to it until I saw it.
You're late AF.
So what? You can't be late with music. It's just music.
But it's so much good.
By the way,
my niece and nephew already know it by heart, by the way. They've known it by heart for 8 months. Every word on the entire fucking thing. They're performing at their fucking performances at school. They know every word.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm doing that. I'm doing like LaKaylee 47. I'm doing
wait, hold on. Where the by the way is let's
the
go
by
back.
the way. Let's get you off track.
This is who I'm messing with right now. This
I
is
know,
who.
we're
If
all
you look at,
we're at Just Plays Kanye.
Okay.
So it's a good job, Ciph. Way to keep us
Everybody
on track.
relax.
All right, keep us together, Ciph.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But my overall point, Ciph, was
baseline.
you have to include Bink in the conversation.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I'm glad you said that so I could clear that up on here.
Good.
My whole thing is that I'm a grown man and I don't do the argument on Twitter.
Got it. Well, it's cleared up right now.
Got him.
I think your respect is pretty clear. Okay, so we move.
Baseline, there's no walls.
There's no walls at baseline.
I come in there. We build baseline.
What is this?
Right? Dynasty. This is Dynasty. This is the recording of Dynasty album. And that's where
Which was originally a compilation album.
And then Jay just
and
snatched
Jay
it.
was like, you know what, I'm going to make this a Jay-Z album. Add
Right.
2 more single,
Right.
just Jay-Z single joints, and let's go.
And the original first single was supposed to be Parking Lot Pimpin'.
Correct. I
The
remember
cars,
it came out.
The cars were in the air.
Yeah.
flying to California because we need all these old school cars.
Yeah.
That Sunday, Pharrell stops by.
Yeah.
And gives Jay Give It To Me.
Boom.
Bang.
So there's a call. There's a call that goes into Lior. Come to the studio. Lior don't mess with the studio at all. Right? I'm not here for the creation of it. Yeah. I sell it.
Right.
I'm here to sell it.
Right? Lior comes with his son.
Mm-hmm. His son is who's now good kid.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
He was on a very family Sunday day.
Oz Cohen, yes.
He was on a very. I'm trying to paint the picture that Lior was on a family Sunday day. He comes over. That's the single. We stop everything and we do Give It To Me as the kickoff record.
They throw Parking Lot Pimpin' on the back. They threw it on the back.
Well, Parking Lot Pimpin' was sent out as like
that was supposed to be the single.
Oh, you got it first.
It was
There's a
single.
Yeah,
there's a white label of just that.
Yeah, Flex was playing it. Just Parking Lot Pimpin' was the single.
Yeah.
And then
you know what? I just learned something right now because college DJs did not get the white labels. Like
Parking Lot Pimpin', y'all didn't get that.
The first thing I got was Give It To Me with Parking Lot Pimpin' on the back.
Okay.
I guess they did that just a commercial.
What year was you playing college radio?
97 was when I started.
Okay.
And I ended up playing it to 04 or whatever.
Okay.
But 97 was one of the first promo albums I ever received in my life was Volume 1.
Dope.
I got the Def Jam clean at my college dorm room, my freshman dorm.
Dope.
That was the beginning of it.
And this is in Maryland?
At Maryland.
Okay, cool.
So that was when I first started getting it. But yeah, at that point, they didn't service that. So I didn't know that. I thought it was just Give It To You.
Did you engineer that record?
Parts of it.
Okay. What does that mean?
Three records on there. Jay had another engineer that was working at the time, Chauncey.
I remember that name.
Chauncey was working on that. I was working on Bleak's second album at the time, and I might have sprinkled myself on 3 or 4 records. I think Streets is.
But this is after he brought you in and said, "Give me a month."
No. This is after Jay says, "Yo, give me the month." He's already in Dynasty, and I don't know if he was fed up with Chauncey or what the deal was, but
he just thought to bring you around. But he still didn't use you for everything.
He definitely told me to come to Baseline on a daily basis.
Okay,
you understand what I'm saying?
And how does money work in that situation?
I've never really listen. I've never to this day had a money conversation with Jay-Z.
Wow,
never. The amount that I charge would be discussed with A&Rs. It would be discussed with people at the label, those type of people. But I've never had that discussion with Jay. Me and Jay don't have money discussions. He makes sure I'm good. Whatever Goo need, make sure he's good. And then from that point on, whatever Jay need, he's good.
What if an order of wings came in?
Of course.
I've never paid for food in a session with Jay-Z.
Okay, because if order wings came in, what if Jay was like, "Yo, you got? Come on,
I've never. No. I don't worry about money with Jay. I don't worry about that.
Was there ever a tough negotiation?
Let me put this on the record, and we can do this on Juan Epstein. I've never, ever in my life questioned will Jay pay me? Is my money going to be right? He makes it a extra point to make sure that I'm good.
Okay.
For my now, he's not going to go out and hustle for you.
Right.
You got to go out and hustle.
Oh, hello.
You got to go out and hustle for yourself.
Welcome to The Rock.
The mere fact that
exactly, Cipha.
Anything that I've done with him, I'm properly paid, and I get to go out in the world and hustle off his name, meaning I can take a party and say I'm Jay-Z's tour DJ.
Right.
I can take whatever and say I'm Jay-Z's engineer. That is enough to me that what's wrong with you that you can't go out and hustle your own thing when you have that as a moniker?
He's number one.
What's wrong with you? Jay shouldn't have to set the meeting for you.
Mm-hmm.
Me or yourself.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all finished or y'all done?
You should be able to go out then and hustle your own thing up. He's not going to go get it for you, but then at the same time, I'm thankful that I'm in that position of him trusting me with his music. So I'm the guy that's a Howard University. I'm from Howard. We have a thing about us that's nothing in the world can stop us. Nothing. I don't care what it is.
Cipha, tell him at this point that he's from the real HU. Tell him.
There is no other.
Tell him there's only one HU.
Excuse me. There is
Harvard?
no other HU. Hampton, I'm sorry. Get your thing together, but there's no other HU.
Cipha, do you want to know my number one generic black small talk?
Yeah.
You have your sports small talk?
Yeah.
Here's my generic black small talk. If you meet someone and they tell you they're from Hampton, or Howard, you go the real HU. Either one, it doesn't matter.
There is no other HU.
There's only one HU.
There's only one HU, and it's in Washington D.C.
That's right. I like that part.
I never understood college beef. But anyway,
I know, it's
all
really-
right, so
You have to understand that.
Well, he only
No, I
went
don't
to college for 5 seconds.
Come on, you have to understand that.
no, like even this is another conversation. No more by the ways. All right, so yeah,
Keep going.
So Dynasty, Pharrell's song comes out as a single.
Give It To Me becomes the single. What 3 songs did you do? You said you did 3.
I did like Streets is Watching. I did some. I got to look at the track list, and I'm sorry, y'all. My memory is shot. I smoke a lot.
But on Dynasty, did you?
Yeah, I got three album credits on Dynasty. So then after Dynasty, it was like already to the point where Jay was like, "Yo, I really mess with you. I like the way you work." Now you have to remember at this time, it wasn't like, "Oh, Jay gets done with the album. I'm waiting till next year." As soon as I got done with that Jay album, I'm moving on to the Young Guns, and then I'm moving on to Memphis Bleeks again, and then I'm moving on to Beanie Siegel again, and then we went to Miami, and we spent 30.
Where's Cameron?
Okay, Cam wasn't there yet. Cam wasn't there yet, but
that's where you start. That's where I start remembering the real Guru shout out.
Right. I wasn't. It was. We went to Miami because Bleek's brother got into an accident on one of them scooters down in Miami, and we so much family that it was like, all right, Bleek, you got to be down here dealing with your brother. Let's just move the whole operation to Miami. So we went to Circle House. That's where it was supposed to be a Bleek and Beans album.
Remember that.
But
remember that.
Beans works at like 4 o'clock in the morning. Bleek works at like literally 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
They never were like, it wasn't something where people were like, yeah, people were like, yo, what did they have beef? And I'm like, no, they're the best of friends, but they work at
Literally
two complete opposite times. Right? So then you have all of the state property cats around us at the same time. So you got Freeway with no records looking at just like, yo, you done gave them 6 beats. Yeah. Make me a beat. We was on our way to the strip club. Right? And just real quick, Free was like, come on, Just, you can't just keep telling me no.
Yeah.
So just real quick, took another record. I'm not even gonna say what the record is. 'Cause I don't know if we cleared it, but Just was just like and Rock the Mic comes out of that.
Right.
Freeway lays down 2 verses. Oskino puts a verse. The next day, we all by the pool. Freeway's blasting the joint from his room, and then Beans was like, "Yo, I got to get on that." So. Because Bleek and Beans couldn't really, we had maybe like, there's been probably like 3 or 4 records that we did all together.
One of my favorite records, the Crew Love.
Yeah.
Crew Love is crazy. Was do you approve of that impression of the song?
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
But we didn't really get.
By the way, you know who our guest is on Juan Epstein next week?
Who?
Freeway.
Is it?
Yeah.
Finally.
So we turned that into what becomes the State Property first album.
Oh, so a lot of the beats on State Property were supposed to be Bleek and Beans album.
No, we totally turned it at that point, and it was a meeting that we had.
Right.
And it was also the first time where I really realized like I'm in all the way because Jay wouldn't start the meeting until I got there. And I was like, "Ooh, wow! Like he's not starting the meeting until I get there." Like, "Oh, okay."
It's always a compliment when that happens. When you walk into a meeting late and they start the meeting, it both feels good and you feel really bad simultaneously. You're like, well, thank you very much. Oh, and I'm an asshole.
But you also got to remember that other people have albums out. So Beans already has an album out. We're shooting videos to like your second single. You know what I mean? We're already in album mode, right? Yeah. So we were in Miami. We do that. We were waiting on Aaliyah.
Okay.
Her plane crashes. We go through that whole like mental thing in this 30 days. This 30 days. Yeah, she just had a beat ready. He was doing a remix for one of her songs. She had just filmed the video for Rock the Boat or whatever that was in the islands. She was flying to Miami to come do this remix with us.
Whoa.
And we get the call like the plane crashed.
Oh shit.
So imagine the mental state of like, yo, what's Dame going through right now?
Yeah.
So my whole thing was just like, where's Dame at? And was he like somebody go grab him?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was tough.
He was in Miami?
Nah, he wasn't with us.
He wasn't with you.
He wasn't with us, but that was his lady at the time. Yeah. And that's my boss. So I feel, you know what I'm saying? Like my emotional.
Was she around before that?
She was always. The illest Aaliyah story I could tell you was like the first day I met her, Dame brought her to Baseline. And it's like, it's Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying? So I said, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm not like all up in your face. The next day she came back again. and I didn't say nothing to her. And she was like, "You not gonna speak?" Like on some regular hood, like, "Yo, you not gonna speak to me?" Like,
but
we just met yesterday.
What's the weird? Can I get into some nerd talk?
Please. It's Juan Epstein.
The weird thing about an engineer is that it's a very fine line of what you can do because you're in the room with some of the most secret, private conversations.
Right.
So with some people, you got to be invisible.
Right.
With some people, obviously, your family.
Right.
But you're always the engineer's always there.
I looked at it as like that's Dame Lady.
Yeah,
so I'm not necessarily going to engage
no
you
disrespect,
in no disrespect.
If she says something cool, you say hello and that's it.
But she hit me with the hood like regular. That's when I knew she was regular.
Right.
When she was like, "You're not going to speak," and we just met yesterday.
Right.
Like she hit me with that, and I was like, "Oh, she regular." Like you know what I mean? Like beautiful.
Yeah, she was
beautiful
cool.
personality, man. Just like very down to earth and very like I was shedding a tear because I seen how it affected my crew. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's also a weird experience when you just got to meet someone and then they pass.
Yeah.
I find that I've had that happen a few times, and I find that to be a really weird experience because you know that you connect, even on that small level, you connected with her. You had a moment.
Yeah, it was
and
weird.
So when they're gone, you're like, I'm hurt.
Yeah.
Even, I didn't know her well, but I just got to know her.
I was hurting for her, but I was more hurting for like my crew. Because I was like, it's people in my crew that's really close to her, and they hurting. Like, I hope everybody's okay. And as men, we sometimes don't go, "Oh, you okay?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, "Yo, you good, dogs?" Like, you know what I'm saying? And Dame and Jade, like, they my bosses. So it's like you don't necessarily go up to your boss and be like, "Yo, are you cool?" But it was like, it was a heavy thing because of what she meant to music and just to my crew personally. Like you're dating the guy that's
even before the dating, they were always cool.
Yeah, she was rock. She was rock.
Well, she was always around.
She was a rock.
Yeah.
She was rock. She was rock.
She was always,
the Hamptons, all of that. She was rock.
Really?
Yeah, she was rock. She was rock.
Huh.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
We're not even at Blueprint.
Okay, let's skip.
Here, go ahead, Cipha. Keep
This
going.
interview sucks.
I know. Another one
not
you
even
hate.
in Blueprint.
Another one you hate.
Where are we?
We're finishing up the Dynasty.
All right, so we do Dynasty. We go through. We do Bleak album. We do another Beans album. We get done with the Beans album.
Third album?
Hold on. Yeah. Bleak,
Fire.
Bleak,
So you know.
third album, fire. But then we was working on, I think, a Beans album. Kanye West says, "Yo, I got the CD." He brings it to baseline. Has 9 joints on it.
Who's Kanye at the time? Just a producer.
Just a producer.
But you know him from D-Dot days.
No, he's a Rockefeller producer. He's produced stuff for us.
I know, but I'm saying.
So now it's both. You've known him.
This is the Kanye that has been spitting rhymes to us when everybody's going, "Yo, fam, just pay me the beat."
Right.
Like all that rhyme.
Yeah.
Play me the beat. I know him from Derek, where I'm like, yeah, he can rhyme, but right now you're killing the beats.
Your beats, yeah.
Like, do the beats.
Yeah.
So he brings a CD with 9 joints. That's on a Friday. By Monday, we had 7 songs for the Blueprint. That's how good that CD was.
Oh, the CD, his beats.
That Kanye brought.
Wow.
Ooh. The other 2 that didn't make it out of the 9 was Alicia Keys with Most You Don't Know My Name.
Right.
And
Why'd you say Alicia Keys with Most?
He's in the video.
Yeah,
Got it. Thank you.
And a Ludacris. Ludacris ended up using that 9th beat. One, I can't remember the title.
Oh, yes.
But the other ones, we messed with. They didn't all make it to the album, but he cut to all of them.
Right.
Wow.
Where
So then,
are those versions?
hey, man.
So you have
them.
Yeah,
so what
of
you're
course I
saying
have
is
them.
so what you're
Yeah,
saying
of
is
course I
real
have
quick. Just want to establish this.
Yeah.
You are saying that you are in possession of
At
Kanye
least
West
4 or
produced
5.
Jay-Z songs that never came out.
I have a million of those.
We've never
That's
heard.
not really an
Did he use
exclusive.
the rhymes for anything
It's
else?
an exclusive for us. All right,
No.
we're taking
So
it.
those are.
When people hit me with the, "Yo, how many undone Jay-Z songs do you have or unreleased?" And I'm like, "Yo, I have a million of them, but they're not released for a reason."
Yeah.
We either didn't like the song or he maybe did one verse and never came back to it. Like, it's
Right.
not fair. Like, my biggest question this past weekend, I was like, "Yo, who has the key to the vault in Paisley Park?"
Yeah.
10,000
Because
songs. They're saying.
how do you present that music?
Yeah,
If
it's not-
Prince is the complete, like, I produce it, I engineer it, I do all of that,
it's not gonna be-
how do you know that what's on those drives is the way that Prince wanted it to be heard? You don't.
You don't. It's never going to be right.
So it's like I can't just be like, yo, I'm gonna release this, and it's not the way that Jay wants it to be heard because he stopped it before he even finished it. So it's like you'll never hear it. But there have to be some joints in there that you think are fire. I do, but it's not my music.
Right.
It's Jay's music. Now, let's understand something real quick. When it comes to the hierarchy, Jay is the general. And my job is to make the best him. So whatever he wants done, that's what I go and do. My opinion is going to always be with us. I'm the guy that they know, like, yo, this is the underground opinion. This is the barbershop talk, blah, blah, blah. But I might have missed Bonnie and Clyde. I didn't really like that record.
Me neither.
You understand what I'm saying? But it sold us. It played on your radio station.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying?
You made it sound right.
And you make it sound right because Jay has a bigger vision than what maybe me and you have in terms of our direct audience of underground. You know what I'm saying? That's when I first learned when Jay was like, Goo, I could rap for you all day.
Yeah.
That's nothing. I could do these little intricate rhymes and have y'all bigging me up all day.
Yeah.
I'm making these records to sell these albums.
Yeah.
Lyrically,
Crazy.
I want to be Talib Kweli.
But
you understand what I'm saying? I got to sell these records. He bigs up Talib. He talks about the roots, but he's like, the reason that they're on the level that they're on is because they're not going to make this type of record that can go here. And I had to learn that. I had to learn sometimes that, like, as good as an MC as he is, sometimes you need to shut up and go, and I wish I never met her at all. It gets better. Or another. That's tricks. We call those tricks. Put the trick in there so the audience can sing along.
Will you say that? Is that a conversation?
Yeah.
Put a trick in there?
Yeah, put a trick in there. We'll listen to songs and be like, it don't have no tricks in it. Meaning, me and you gonna love it. We're going to analyze the lyrics and we're going to do all that. My daughter is not going to get all that.
Kanye is a master of tricks.
A master.
Kanye doesn't even need a chorus because you sing along to random parts that he drops throughout the whole verse.
This is important for why. Now, we rap nerd now here, right?
Here we go. Hashtag.
This is important for why when you say, yo, why is New York City not popping? Because y'all lack putting tricks into your music. Put the tricks.
Why y'all?
Put the tricks. Why is it y'all? Let's be real. Y'all can't. You two can't say this, but I can say this.
He's talking
right?
to himself though too.
I very much love my new generation. You understand what I'm saying? I don't like the old dude. I'm 42 years old. I don't like the dudes that come in and be like, I don't like this music. No, I am the biggest supporter of A$AP Rocky. I am the biggest supporter of a Smoke Dizza. I am the biggest supporter of those movements because I want to see New York go. A$AP 12 is my son. I love him to death. Another person that I would take a bullet for. You understand what I'm saying?
12.
Look, 12. Yes,
nice.
And Nas is my favorite one out of all of them.
Yeah, Nas is great.
Nas is my favorite MC. So I look at Rocky as being the head and like, yo, you be the flamboyant superstar. The girls love you, all of that. Like, be the head of it, right? Let Ferg be the, like, turn up. Yeah. We're going to do this, but also recognize that Ferg got lyrics,
bars,
too.
Don't sleep.
On his joints.
Ferg is growing to be one of my favorites.
That album, the new album is fire, by the way. Support
Not even
that right
the new
now.
album, the last album.
Well, that's
lyrics on them
I was late on it. Ferg is
he got lyrics on them joints.
Yeah, but
now,
his new album just dropped.
12 is who you might catch me in the city with. That's who I'm going to be on the phone with. That's who I'm going to check in and be like, you good? When Yams pass, I'm hitting 12 because I'm like, are you good? That's my son. I love him. That's my son. You know what I'm saying? But Nas is who I'll be like, yo, he be spitting.
Right.
And I've never met Nas in my life. He's just who out of the crew that I really love.
So funny. It's funny because Pro Era has a similar thing.
Now, Joey, the same thing.
But the truth is, you just said, was it Nas you think is the one?
Yes.
Nick Caution's the one in Pro Era.
He's stupid.
Nick Caution's the one in Pro Era.
He's stupid.
So Joey's the face. He's amazing. He's this person. He has the embodiment of all of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird too. Yo, this kind of bug because they both have a deceased member who's the soul, right? So you have Yams and A$AP. You have Stilo in Pro Era.
Yeah.
Then you have Joey, who's the A$AP Rocky on a different level, but he's the face.
Right.
Kirk Knight, phenomenal producer and MC, but the MC is Nick Caution.
Yes, sir.
Nick is the fucking rapper of the crew.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's a really. Have you heard the new? Have you heard the Ferg? produced by Kirk Knight that he dropped that's not on the album? No.
Yes.
Nerd talk.
Nerds, hashtag nerd talk.
Nah, but
Flames.
we need this. New York City need this because I don't like the OGs, like people my age that don't support the youngins.
Yeah.
It's
There's
a big
lot of
thing.
that.
It's a big thing to me to support the youngins.
That's
So
always
like
been a New
whatever
York thing, though.
whatever they need, like stop trying to be the 40-year-old nigga in the club, man. Stop that. Like I'm supposed to be sitting at home watching them, and they like, yo, I came from the club and I had it popping. Yeah, I was doing that in '93.
Yeah.
Great.
And they're sitting here. The older guys are sitting here hating on, for example, ASAP Mob, and now we have this crew where not only is the main guy a star, the second guy's a star.
Yeah.
They're super New York. Yo, Ferg raps nothing but fucking Harlem talk.
Yes, sir.
That's all he does.
Yes, sir.
And yet we have the old New Yorkers being like, "Oh, there's
You
nothing
know
out
why?
here."
You know
He sound
why?
like he from
Because
the
they
South.
want to
He from the South.
They
No, he's
want
not.
They want to be them. They still
That's
want to
whack.
be.
That's
They
really
still
whack.
want to be in the club with a girl going, "Oh, he's the guy." No, let my young boys live. Like let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? Just know that me personally, Goo, don't nobody touch 12 ever.
In
ever.
life.
In life, don't touch 12.
Well, 12
he's protected.
12 he's gonna get. But I mean, I think these guys should.
I don't care about none of that other shit. Don't touch 12. He's protected.
Facts.
Facto.
These guys are fucking awesome though. Both Pro Era and ASAP Mob.
Nah, they
deserve
good, man.
they deserve the support
That's
of
what
the
I
New
feel
Yorkers
like
of all
should
ages.
be our leaders, and then I feel like Smoke DZA should be like included in that, along with everybody else, the Flatbush Zombies, and
Amazing.
you know what I'm saying? Like we can go down the line of them, but those are my people that I feel like have done enough work and have garnished enough reputation that the whole of New York should be supporting these guys.
Agreed.
They should be. When I go to LA and I be with Ali, you know what I'm saying? Ali, who's the
From
engineer,
TDE, the engineer of it.
TDE, who engineers for Kendrick shit, and I watch the way LA loves Kendrick. I'm like, yo, why New York City don't be doing this shit for ASAP? They the same thing. Why are y'all not supporting them the same way? They should be able to lock out any 3,000 seat arena with no problem.
This is my favorite talk that I hate the most, right?
Now I know, but it's real talk.
No,
It needs to be
this
said
line
because
right
the
here.
OGs don't fucking want to admit to that shit.
This is why New York is fucked up, right? When you talk to an old head from Harlem, like, yeah, I fuck with ASAP. Yo, what part of Harlem he from? I never seen him. Shut the fuck
You're
up.
old
yo.
as shit, bro. Ask your grandson if he's seen him.
These the young new fly niggas. Is you jealous of them because they fly? Is you jealous of them because they got the girl that you want? Is you jealous of them because they got the record that's popping and you 45 and you still trying to get a popping record? No, support them. The way that you be an OG is to go give them your experience and let them live off the game. Yo, don't sign this contract. You should really be doing this, and this, because when I was young, I didn't see that.
I fucked up, and here's what happened.
I fucked up.
This whole
Here you
interview
go.
is fucked up. We haven't touched the Black album yet. Or Kanye's album.
Okay, let's go.
No,
I'm sorry.
I'm going home.
Where are we, Ciph? Blueprint?
Kanye brought the beat.
Kanye brings the beats.
Oh, that ends up being
Right?
the Blueprint, of course.
From a Friday to a Monday, we made about 9 records. Because at the same time that Kanye brings this CD, you got Just Blaze in the B room. Just Blaze sticks his head in the A room while we're recording some records, and he's like, "That's where we going? The soul samples and the got y'all. Cool." Steps back in the B room, starts going to work. You understand what I'm saying? This is where the Blueprint comes from. Then we make the calls to Eminem, and we make the calls to.
Did Eminem send his verse or come and do it?
Nah, he sent it. That was an already done record. Renegade was an already done record with him and Royce the 5'9". And he took Royce's vocals off of it, sent it to Jay. Like, Jay might not even know that.
One
but
Ep
I
moment.
knew.
One Ep
One Ep
facto.
moment.
Hold on.
Do you
You're
have that
saying
version?
I don't have that version.
You don't have the
Maybe
voice.
ask Royce. But this is a fact.
What Royce has, he's probably upset about it.
No,
Hold
he's
on,
not
so you're
upset.
telling-
He's not-
you're-
no, this is the reason. When that was going on, Royce had a deal. Basically, the record label said, we're not clearing Eminem twice for the Royce the 5'9" album.
Oh.
We're going to give Royce one
So he
Eminem
picked
look.
whatever the other one was.
Rock City or whatever it
Renegade
was.
just sitting there, right? M sends that to Jay, but I know for a fact, I'm an underground guy. Like, I knew that Royce already had a verse on there. So then he sends it, and it's like no Royce verse. Jay and M make a great record, and it's like, okay, great. That's great for
New
us.
M verses or the verses with
The
the one?
verse that's on the Royce joint.
That's weird.
Hold on,
It's
Guru.
not weird. It's great.
No,
verses.
Guru,
it's
hold
amazing,
on.
But
Guru, hold on. This is a fact that is important.
It's a moment.
Okay? People debate those verses a long time. What you are saying is Eminem's verse was done.
Yes.
Hove got to hear that verse.
Yes.
And rhyme accordingly.
Yes.
Okay. So when people judge that verse, they should know Hove got to hear what M's verse was.
Yes.
M didn't hear Hove's verse.
He heard it afterwards. They did
Afterwards.
too. Yeah.
And he didn't redo it.
So Nas,
No, but he did.
He added to it.
Yes.
He added another verse.
Yeah. You
Who?
both go back
M?
and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, because they have a
You
second.
both go back and forth. They have two verses on the
Right.
Listen to the record.
They split.
Yeah.
They do a
who
verse
did the
each and
beat?
split.
M.
M did the beat.
So Nas says
We wasn't
M
looking. I
killed you on your own
absolutely was
record.
not looking at that as competition. I was looking at that as like, yo, two of the greatest are getting on a track together, and they're talking about being renegades, and they both came from their own standpoint. I thought it was a great record.
Of course it was.
What do you mean? It's one of my favorite records of all time.
At that
Really?
at that
Arguing
moment, at
I
that
love that
moment,
record.
You think it's the best Eminem production ever?
at that moment, the
No.
battle wasn't between M and J. It was between M and Nas. I mean between
Jay
Jay
and
and
Nas.
Nas. Right? It was between Jay and Nas at that moment. We weren't looking at Eminem as competition.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying people say, when Nas said
Eminem killed you on your own
on
shit.
your own record, the verse
I
was already there.
don't believe it. They both spoke true from their perspective. Where M couldn't speak what Jay is talking about, because Jay's talking about being from the hood and what those things mean. You understand what I'm saying? And M is talking about being a renegade in music and pop culture from his perspective. So how can you compare those two things? They're just two great MCs.
See, but again,
I'm
this
with
is
you.
this is where we get into. This is why the arguments between MCs is different between best and greatest.
Okay.
Because what Eminem did vocally on the verse, I guess I could say is better, but the way Jay-Z overall sounds on the verse is different. So I mean, it's and by the way, I consider Jay-Z to be greater than Eminem. I mean, from a personal standpoint, but I mean, man, that moment right there, Cipher,
That was a great moment. It's a great moment in hip hop.
it's one of the great moments of all time.
Unlike this podcast.
Cypher,
We're not going to get done. We're not going to get done.
it's okay.
We're not going to finish.
But Guru's very accessible to us. He'll come by again.
There's never a part two.
There's never a part two. There's never a part
All right,
two.
so yeah, go ahead. So then, all right, so Blueprint gets made.
Blueprint gets made.
Sorry, while we're all by the way in, are you around for Dead Prez Jay-Z?
No, I wasn't around for the very initial Dead Prez Jay-Z.
You mean Hell Yeah?
Old?
That
was before you.
That was before me.
Hold on. You mean Hell Yeah?
Yeah. When
They
I
had
wasn't
already
around for
recorded that?
You talking
What
about?
year
You
is
talking about the first? You talking about
No,
early Jay-
he means the group
Oh,
Dead Prez.
No, the group Dead Prez.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course. I recorded that. Yeah,
You recorded that?
yeah.
Okay.
How did that happen?
Kanye.
Here we go.
Okay.
One up moment.
Kanye connected
Kanye
that?
brought that together. Yeah.
Well, and did Hove know who Dead Prez was?
Of course.
He
of
loved-
course.
he loved-
Why do y'all
from what
think?
I heard.
Why do y'all think he? I can't speak for Hove's mind. I hate when people ask me to do that. But why do y'all think he don't know what's going on in hip hop?
No,
He knows what's going on in hip
Well,
hop. Dead
because-
Prez is Dead Prez.
Because at a certain point, you just
we
believe.
didn't say H2O. We didn't say like because I heard you reference that before, and I was like, oh, H2O. The kids from Long
Oh,
Island.
Hard to Obtain.
Yeah, Hard to Obtain. like it's not. We didn't say that, right? But of course he knows who Dead Prez is. Of course.
Yeah, no, I guess it makes sense. He's ahead. But for us, Jay-Z becomes a superhero, so you can't imagine he has time to keep up with everything. And that's why when he has moments like that, you're so impressed because you're like, oh,
that.
man.
I appreciate that, but I mean, I can't speak for Jay-Z's
never done that
mind.
song live, right?
I can't speak for Jay-Z's mind, but understand what I'm doing in the studio. Understand that when he walks in, there's probably MF Doom playing, right? Because before Jay-Z gets there,
You're playing what you
I'm
want.
listening to what the fuck I want to listen to, and I'm playing MF Doom.
Play it for Cipha while you're at it, because I don't know if he's heard a record by him.
Or I'm playing Dilla, or I'm playing whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Little
Like,
Brother,
Yeah, Little Brother.
which would lead to Ninth Wonder being on the Black Album.
Absolutely. That one was directly me.
Of course. You think
I
don't know
That one was absolutely directly me. I'll take credit for that one all day. What I won't take credit for is people say, yo, you put Ninth on. And I'll be like, no, I didn't put Ninth on.
Well, Ninth was
I
already
gave
a
him an
star.
opportunity after a lot of work that he had been doing, which was incredible, and brought him to J.
No, exactly. You put him on because you were a fan of his work.
Absolutely. I'm a
That's the only
huge fan
thing
of Little
came
Brother.
directly from you?
Nah, it's been other shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like the ones where you could be like, yo, this situation.
proud of that
How
one.
did you get a hold?
I'm very proud of that.
How did you get a hold of Ninth Wonder?
It was a guy named T that was filming Fade to Black, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm bumping the Little Brother joints, and I'm like, yo, how the fuck is they in North Carolina making music like this by themselves? And I'm like, nah, this can't be real. Because a lot of times you meet the producer and it's like, nah, it's really the little homie in the basement. And I was like, this music is too good. And T was like, yo, I know that cat. And I was like, yo, for real, get him on the phone right now. So he calls Knife. And I'm like, yo, I don't know who you are, but this music is incredible. And I would really love you to come up here and play some stuff for Jay. So then I hit Quest. And I was like, Quest, hit Jay. And tell him about Quest Love.
Hold on.
The guy that...
Guru, I got it.
I thought maybe Quest the Mad Lad.
I got it.
What if it was Quest the Mad Lad?
Cipha means the drummer from the Roots.
Okay. So say Quest Love.
He happens to have a nightly show.
He's on Jimmy Fallon every
night. All right. What if it was Quest the Mad Lad?
Well, why would it be that, though?
I hit Quest, and I was like, yo, like, double up on this with me and, like, tell Jay who Ninth Wonder is. And then Jay agreed to it, and then Ninth came up. And, man, he came up with, like, a CD. He came up with, like, actually, like, 5 CDs that had 99 beats on it per CD. And he was just flipping through joints. And Jay was just with the face all day, like, oh, my God, oh, my God. And he was just like, he looked at me. The only thing Jay said in that whole, like, 30-minute period was, like, he looked at me. He was like, this kid's the new Primo. And I was like, yeah, I've been trying, yeah. And then Jay came with the idea.
Yeah, he told us
out of
that.
all the beats that Knife was playing
them.
When
he did? Right?
Jay came with the idea. He was like, yo, I got this idea for Threats. You think you can do something with the R. Kelly sample? So normally the way Jay said it was like, yo, like, take this idea, go home, work with it, come back. Knife was like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not leaving. He took his PC, Fruity Loops, sat in, like, not even a room. He sat in that little back part of baseline, you know what I'm saying, where the lounge was, with headphones on, and just made Threat right there in, like, 20 minutes. And he was like, Goo, what you think about this? With just a chop. And I was like, ooh, that's it. Put some drums to that. He put the drums to it, played it for Jay.
I put that knife in you.
It was it.
I got to ask you a very
right then and there.
Guru, I got to ask you a very important question for my life. I just want the honest answer. Okay? After the Black Album.
How am I going to get home? It's mad late.
No, we're going to wrap up here. We're going to wrap up.
We can't wrap up.
Well, you got more.
You know, we're not even. All right, go ahead.
The train still runs, by the way. You're fine. I live above the train.
I know, I'm scared.
Don't be scared. This is a very important question. Did you ever hear Kev Brown's The Brown Album?
I've not heard the Brown Album. I was actually offended the very first time that me and you spoke, and you asked me, do I know who Kev Brown is?
Offended.
I was offended. I was like, you must not realize who I am.
Yeah, who is he?
No.
To ask me, do I know who Kev Brown is?
I was just so used to pushing Kev on people, and people didn't know.
That's the very first time I heard
He didn't know you was HU, the original.
The first time you heard of me was what?
By, like, association with, like, Kev Brown Odyssey.
Got it.
Like,
yo, listen.
The first time I heard your name.
Well, listen, we're living in 2016. Odyssey put out an EP 2 weeks ago. It's one of the best things I've ever heard, and still no one's talking about it. So I don't even know. I know I got it right with him.
Just put it like this. The beat has to fit the project that we're doing at the given time. So I have a lot of producers that come to me and they're like, yo, I got good music. You do have good music. But
doesn't fit where I'm at.
If I just did the blueprint and then you give me a whole bunch of soul samples, he's not going there.
It's over.
That. You know what I'm saying? He already went there. You got to lead.
Did you ever remember getting Kev or Odyssey beats during those times or no?
Yes.
It made it to you at some point,
Yes.
one way or another.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm very aware who he is. I love his music. You know what I'm saying? Odyssey is like, I admire what he's done on an independent level. You know what I'm saying? But Kev, yes, I'm very aware of who Kev is.
You should listen to the Brown Album though. If you never heard it.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah,
right.
I'm gonna send it to you.
Right.
You should.
I haven't heard that.
Because the Brown Album is what influenced the Gray Album, and the Brown Album is much better than the Gray Album. No disrespect to Danger Mouse, who it turned into being an amazing, lucrative career, but at the time, I don't think he was at the place that he is now.
Would you say that the Gray Album spawned him in?
Of course,
with CeeLo?
Yeah, of course. Gnarls Barkley
Spawned the
that
White
was
Album,
everything.
right? It spawned the White Album.
Yes,
right? Yes.
And the amazing thing is, back then in Rolling Stone, Danger Mouse gave Kev credit. He said, "I heard the Brown Album, and then I decided to give it a crack."
Ciph is mad because
Ciph, sorry,
Okay,
let's
I'm
get
not-
sorry.
I'm
Black, you want to get the Black Album, Ciph?
No, I'm good.
Where do you want to go right now?
I'm good.
So we Blueprint 2, we Black, then we gonna go.
Blueprint 2 is weird.
It's different.
It's weird to you.
how'd
It's
you
my
feel about-
fault. It's my fault.
What'd you do on Blueprint 2? Why'd you fuck that up?
I pushed him because he was doing so many records so fast. I pushed him. I was like, "Yo, Big got a double album. Pac got a double album.
You never
If
had
you
one.
want to put yourself on that level, you need to do this double album." And for the first time, me and hip hop like kind of influenced Jay to the point where he was like, "All right, I'll do a double album," because we have so many records. But to be honest with you, like the Earth, Wind, and Fire joint that has like the whole crew on it, that shouldn't be on the album. like. It's certain joints that shouldn't be on there, but it was me.
Why?
It was me because Jay was at like, if you're at 16, 17 records, but then you do like 5 records to get it to like 22 to get it to a double album, and those last 5 aren't what the first 17 are. It was really my fault.
But why?
Because I was trying to put him on the same level as Big and Pac of having double albums.
Yeah, but those double albums are
amazing. Yes, I know, and we were in that route.
Blueprint 2 is not as bad as people say.
It's not.
If you went back
if
and
you'd have
listened
knocked it to 15 records, we'd have been rocking.
They did that though. Remember they did Blueprint 2.0
Yeah, but it's after
2.0 or something.
You never get a second impression.
That's
true. The
But
second
that's
impression.
where Jay and Kanye haters.
Yeah,
the hate record.
Yeah.
The fucking
It's a great record.
What's the other record on there? What's the
shit with Lenny Kravitz is on there? That's
Lenny
a great
Kravitz.
record.
What's
And
the
rest in
Neptune
peace.
one?
And rest in peace. Heavy D produced that joint
Heavy
too.
D, yep.
Yeah.
Black, what was it? Guns N' Roses or
Guns N' Roses.
what was the Pharrell record on there? Or the
I'm trying to think. Was that Excuse Me, Miss?
Excuse Me, Mrs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a Pharrell record. There's a couple joints.
Allure?
Yes.
Allure?
Yes.
Crazy.
No. Allure's on Black.
Allure's on Black?
Yeah, Allure's on Black.
So then there's another similar song.
There's a lot of great songs on Blueprint too.
Allure's on Black?
Yes, Allure's on Black.
Shit.
There's a lot of great songs on Blueprint too. It was just too long, and it's not Jay's fault. I was literally I will take the credit for like that's my fault. I was pushing him to.
And he still fucks with you.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. See, this is the thing. This is the thing with me.
Nerd talk.
I make records. I put them out. You either like them or you don't like them.
Yeah.
I'm not one of these dudes that's like, yo, I can't talk to you if you tell me you never like one of my records. Like, so what? Like, okay, this is what I do for real. So guess what? Next year, I'm going to put out a whole nother 12. And you may or may not like that. But I'm going to keep doing it. And guess what? I've been doing it since 1996.
Yeah. I feel you.
I'm going to keep putting them out. Whether or not you like it or not, it's up to you. It's like ice cream. It's like, Ciph, do you like chocolate ice cream?
It's not my favorite.
Exactly. Okay, great. I'll try to make some vanilla for you next time.
But why is it some people do that and then they're going to go away?
Because of the fact that Jay-Z speaks truth of wherever he's at in his life. So if I'm hustling, you're going to get hustling Jay-Z. If I'm, you know what I'm saying, growing up, you're going to get my grow up. Okay, you know what? Take off these jerseys and put on a button up, right? Mm-hmm. Song like I'm off that.
Yeah.
Right? I used to ride around in the car with like 5 of my dudes. Mm-hmm. I don't do that no more. Mm-hmm. I used to do this. I
leave the same tires on.
Yep. I don't do that no more. So you always get the truth of where I'm at. All the way from Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z, all the way to where I can make a song about my kid. You know what I'm saying? All the way to where I can make like songs like Oceans or Niggas in Paris.
Oceans. Oh my God.
Good record.
You know what I'm saying?
You did Throne?
I didn't do Throne. So what happened is when Kanye...
Washington's one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, no. Mine too. When Kanye's people work, I let them work. Like, you got to understand, we got to respect what's the scheme of what things go on. When Timberland gets in the studio, he has an engineer that he works with. Very direct. I step back.
Do you do Jay's vocals?
Yes. I'll do that. But even to the point where some of the Magna Carta stuff, I'll go to the studio, I'm sitting there for 2 days, and it's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just like adding comments. So like, I don't need to be in these sessions. Y'all do that. I'll wait till y'all get done. Yeah. When it's Watch the Throne, that's all Mike Dean and, you know what I'm saying?
Are you
all
there
those guys.
or no?
For like maybe 1 or 2 times. But then I'm not the hangout dude. I'm not, if I can't put a PO in, I'm not hanging out.
Right.
Play me the records when you get done. I'll give you my opinion.
What's
about
a PO?
Purchase order.
Oh, if you're not, got it. If you're not
that means you're getting paid.
Right. If you're not getting paid, you're
if
not
I'm not getting paid to be there, you know what I'm saying? There's no need for me to just hang out. I'm going to wait for the tour. I'm going to do my after parties. I'm going to do whatever we got to do. You know what I'm saying? But we have very specific like ways that we work, and I'm not stepping on the toes of everybody else that's there. Mm-hmm. You see what I mean? So it's like, call me when the record's done. I'll come listen to it.
So you don't have those masters or records or sessions?
I have everything.
You have everything?
Every Throne record you got, because you had to do the vocals.
Because I go on tour, because we need stems for the tour.
Need everything.
Because I need everything. Eventually, at some point, I'm going to have all of the.
So because you double up in your work, your engineer and your tour DJ.
What happened was the industry completely went kaput in 2007, 2008.
Right.
MP3s come in, everything drops. Jay is my man. So he's like, I see what's going on. before when it was like I would get done with a Jay-Z album and flip to a Memphis Bleak album and a Beans album and that's not there no more.
Yeah.
So his solution was like, yo, come on tour with me.
Right.
You DJ, come on tour.
Who was
with
this
me.
DJ before you?
Scratch did it for a while.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil, yes,
Neil
great Neil
was
Armstrong.
DJing. Yeah, Neil Armstrong was DJing before him. You know what I'm saying? But it's like whatever Jay say, that's what I roll off. I don't ask no questions. He's the general. Mm-hmm. And he gets that respect. Like the hardest thing about soldiering is following orders. You understand? If you agree with the orders, it's very easy. If you disagree with the orders, it's hard. But soldiering means you got to follow the orders whether or not you agree with them or disagree with them.
Yeah.
I'm a soldier for Jay-Z. That's period. So whether or not there's a lot of orders I agree with, there may be some orders I don't agree with. I don't care if I don't agree with the orders. I go do whatever it is. And people that work at IBM can't go to their boss and be like, yo, I disagree with this. Right. This is wrong. Once I have my conversation one-on-one with Hov, like, yo, I disagree with this. This is wrong. And he tells me why he thinks it's right. Yeah. My opinion goes out the fucking window.
Done.
He's the boss. I go do what he wants me to do. That's period.
That's my problem. I'm very in between general and soldier.
Nah,
it's a big problem for me.
I'm a general of my own shit.
Right.
In order for you to be a general, you got to know how to soldier. So I can't ask my manager to soldier, and I've never been a soldier. I'm a soldier to him. But in my own shit, I'm the general.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right. My problem is in the situations in which I'm probably a soldier,
you ain't no soldier. You're a civilian. You're a bitch.
Okay, thank you.
You're a protester.
No, but I always think I should also halfway be general, but I'm too lazy and realize that no one would have made me general because I'm late.
Like a fat general.
Yeah, like a fat, sloppy general.
Chicken wing.
Who's got a chicken wings in his pocket, and like that can't be the general. So I end up being half between, but you're right. A true general. I'm like, exactly. I'm the general, but I think I should be general, but Colonel Sanders is the leader. That's the problem.
Now, a true soldier got to take orders.
That's true. And a true general, you're right, has often always already been a soldier and known how to do that.
And he gotta have the best interests of his soldiers at heart. But sometimes the soldier gotta shut the fuck up and go do what the general say because you don't see the big picture.
You're right.
You only see Normandy.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
You're not seeing the whole thing.
You're not seeing the whole
Where are we going after
Where
this?
are we going with this? You only see storming Normandy and you like, yo, you want me to jump out this boat and this motherfuckers is shooting? Yes. Because we about to defeat Hitler. You understand what I'm saying?
And I'm like, but what happens to me afterwards?
Now we're in fucking World War II.
All right, so when you stormed Normandy, Young Guru, so when you were dropped off at Normandy,
the storm in Normandy is
it's exactly right.
It's staying at the studio for 3 days straight to make sure something's right. It's showing up to practice early and saying his verses on the microphone so that he doesn't have to show up, so that the band knows where the verses hit with certain things. Jay, don't worry about it. I got you. Go deal with the other umpteen million businesses that you're doing. Know the show gonna be right, and you can show up the day before and just spit your rhymes, and I got you in terms of
all right,
this.
so I never ask about new stuff, but before we wrap this up, the word is Hov's back in the studio.
I don't know, man.
Really? That's interesting.
That's
weird. Hold on. That's weird because you've engineered his last 40 albums. But you don't know whether or not Hov's back.
I don't know what we're doing.
What'd you say?
Where's that word coming from?
I heard it from Ebro.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
Where did Ebro hear from? I don't know because he didn't really talk to Hov that much anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing.
The word is out.
I just tell you this: when he's ready, I'm ready, and when he puts it out, it's going to be.
How about this? Do you believe?
Deal.
Do you believe we'll get another Jay-Z album?
Yes.
Vocal album? You think?
Yes.
Absolutely.
He's too much. He's too good at it, and he's too much of a He's too needed right now. You know what I'm saying? He's needed, but I can't tell you specifically when that's going to happen. I don't know.
Can I say something? Mm-hmm. This is important.
I don't believe what you're going to say is going to be important.
It is important because I did the title concert. I ripped it down.
You did rip it down.
Thank you.
Did I not come to you beforehand and afterwards?
We was chilling beforehand.
Yes, we was chilling before.
Didn't know that was going to be a life-changing night.
Yes.
Hov said that was fucking amazing.
Yes,
you got to come do that on the road for me when I go on tour and play before the show.
I would love to have another Hov tour.
And I said, great, I'm there. When is the next tour? And his answer was, I don't know.
So so I need him.
I need him.
The same answer you get is the same answer I get.
I
don't
need
know.
him to do an album.
And you want to
To
tour?
then do a tour. I don't want to step on your toes at all. I don't want to even go on stage. I'll never be on stage when Jay-Z's on
never
stage.
Never stepping on toes.
I want to be in some weird little platform in the middle of the arena
and open up
and do my 10 minutes. Because now,
I want Ciph to come to like my Tanzania shows. I want Ciph to come to my like South Africa shows. I want Ciph to be in Dubai when I'm chilling in 411, and when I'm chilling in 411 with my peoples in 411, and let Ciph do that.
What's 411 Ciph?
I don't know what that is.
It's the biggest club in Dubai for urban music,
and it's
period.
Lit.
And it's lit. They got the girls that come out the ceiling with the like confetti, and you got to get to Dubai. Ciph.
I'm trying.
You got to.
So hold on. So what you're saying right now? Let me help you out. You're saying you want to make sure Young Guru hits you up when he knows that this is about to happen.
No, not even that. I just need. Is it happening?
You want to hold out?
I don't know, Ciph. I can't tell you what I don't know.
But you think it'll happen?
I want it to happen very badly, but I don't know. I think it will happen. Will you get it? You said ever, like from now to the time we die?
In the nearest future. You think in the nearest future we're going to get something?
I don't know.
Man.
Okay.
And that's not even me being like, oh, I got to be politically. I have no idea. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm on tour with Alicia Keys. I'm DJing for her.
Well,
are you really?
Poor you.
Yeah.
What a pathetic step down that is. You know,
Whoa.
I'm joking. I'm joking. We feel so sorry
on
for
the
you.
road now?
We're about to really go in. Yeah.
Stuck with, relegated with multi-Grammy winner Alicia Keys. Your pathetic life. Hey, yo, Guru, thank you for doing this, bro.
Nah, thank y'all, man.
There's more to do.
No Cameron.
What are we going to do, Ciph?
No Cameron.
You finished or you done?
Just Blaze.
Yeah, we need a part 2 so we can get to like the old boy.
We didn't do none of the
all
old
of
boy
that,
shit.
I'm trying to get all of this out so that I never have to do another interview ever, and we just keep it all on Juan Ep, and then I don't have to mess with the internet ever again.
Yo, I love you for that, bro. I love you for that. Yo, his name is Young Guru. I would tell you to follow him on social media. He doesn't really care if you do.
Did you engineer any early Kanye stuff?
Early Kanye stuff, yeah. I'm on a couple records.
No fucking.
Were you ever in?
Why does Jay-Z only have one weird line on the Drake song?
On which one? We have a couple songs with Drake.
Can I say no? The new one. The what's it called?
Not One Dance. The other one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. To me, that feels like.
This is what my theory. Does this make sense?
You say it.
It's a Throne song, and that they didn't use. Is that what it is? You don't know. Could be.
I don't know.
Because it says featuring the Throne. Why would it say featuring
Weird.
the Throne?
It is
no
weird.
one calls them the Throne.
No,
I'll leave that one at I don't know.
Okay.
He just kayfabed you, Ciph, as we say in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
His name is Young Guru. He's.
Did you ever meet Guru? Gangstar?
I did meet him.
Did he say anything to you?
He never said anything to me, and then he popped off with a whole lot of beef. And when the beef came,
He did?
When he popped off with the beef, I came and I called Lays and I called Preem. And my respect for Preem and my respect for Lays, Preem told me to leave it alone. And I said, you know what, OG? Because of you, I'll leave it alone. And I never said nothing about it afterwards. And I refused.
He beefed about the name?
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
But you have the name Young Guru, which is
And
inherently respectful.
I had it way before Gangstar
but
started as a group. But it doesn't matter.
No, it
The
doesn't
point of the story is my respect level
Yeah.
for Premier and Lays is so high that if they say Guru, leave it alone,
And that's Lays from MOP.
Lays from MOP, left it alone. I never even addressed it after that because that's how much I respect Primo and Lays.
Exactly. I feel you.
Because I always thought that
1000%.
having Young in your name made it inherently different. So I was like, I never even thought about it. What about you?
Anything else?
I think, yeah, there's lots more. Get over it.
All right.
We know him, though. I have his phone number. I can give it to you. You can reach out to him whenever you want. Hey, Guru, thank you for doing this, man.
Thank y'all, man.
Young Guru, Juan Epstein. Ciph, I'll see you next week for Freeway.
Nerd Talk.
#Nerd Talk.
Nerd Talk.